The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is here comes Jason Meyer, the other auto custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the Corker Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicap a more dapper than a dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR Pub Sports Radio Bizarre is a man named Slaughter, and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quick to trip. What we say, we be pubbing. Baby, want the bag and you love it. You want it top tier, we above it. Let's
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, April 24th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have some sad news to start off our show. A fellow capper of ours, a big supporter of our channel, a capper that we've worked with for years. He's been around since since I went down to Costa Rica when I moved over to Pub. Has lost his battle with cancer. He didn't talk about it. He's a very brave man. Joey Harb has died. And our thoughts and prayers and love and strength go to Joey Harb's family. This guy was just a through and through capper. That's all he cared about, really, was capping. And, you know, one of those high character guys who, you know, kept everything in and didn't know really what he was battling. Some of the guys did know. I didn't know. Some of our guys in the chat, and they can, you know, talk about it, you know, if they feel it necessary. And, you know, I probably wouldn't have known for a little while if it wasn't for the high character guys in our chat who recognize when somebody's not around and go find out why. It's special that we do that and that we have guys in our chat that did this here. And our thoughts and love go out to Joey Harb's family. And, you know, life can be very tough. And we lost a good one. So our thoughts are to Joey Harb. And we move on to today. April 24th, the hot streak has continued 9-6 plus 5.88 units yesterday. I was very wrong about the Edmonton Oilers, but it didn't get in the way of the bag. I told you guys, Colorado, Dallas, bet overtime every game. And I told you guys that Colorado and Vegas aren't tough enough. Now, they're both still capable of, Colorado can come back and beat Dallas, and Vegas can, you know, go into Minnesota and win those games, but everything is falling into place. I screwed it so much up yesterday. I left money on the table. I screwed so much up, and we're still at 5.88 units. It means we're seeing things clearly. The highlight of yesterday, though, of course, is our great friend Razor Sharp Picks. I saw that he's in the chat with a gift to the channel, but the great Razor Sharp Picks strikes again. Razor Sharp Picks picking up 60 large, and I think more than that. Good God. Over at Keeneland Racetrack. Perfect setup for the Triple Crown. Perfect setup for the Kentucky Derby. And our Razor Sharp Pick strikes again. So shout out to Razor, and shout out to the fam, Razor fam, and everybody that battles with Razor each and every day. It's, you know, you fight the good fight. You want to hope that there are some rewards, and Razor's earned all those rewards. So shout out to Razor Sharp Picks with his another bout of greatness from him. Stacks play of the day. Justin McKelvey is in. There's the truth teller in the house. Stacks play day. Clippers team total over 109.5. Truth teller on Boston moneyline Crochet 7+ Ks and Crochet ladder from 8 to 11. Let's get this all copied and pasted. We have a huge show today, a monstrous show today. We have NHL off the hop with Bobano. He'll be here shortly. It'll take us probably about 25 minutes to get through the games, and then we are going to begin a more Major League Baseball. And Bobano will stick with us for the first little bit of MLB baseball. He went 2-1 to start his MLB season, and he's coming off a huge day in NHL. What did he do last week with us? He went 9-3 plus 6.13 units. I told you guys we'd both be in the black by the end of the year, and we are on our way. True Teller, the Sweaty Butcher, Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play today is the Maple Leafs at plus 110. We will be going heads up in that one, but I can understand the sentiment. They have elite forwards, which allow them to get outshot and out hit and still win hockey games. I don't think it's going to sustain. I'm not saying they're not going to win the series, but I'm against that. Prime cut from the Sweaty Butcher is the Thunder minus 9.5. We have the Thunder minus 9.5. Let's get this locked in here as well. And the Sweaty Butcher giving us the goods. Thunder 9-1 straight up and against the spread last 10 is a road favorite. Look, I can understand people thinking to put a fork in the Memphis Grizzlies. I think I'm the only person. Wine Time and I are the only people that lost a bet on the Miami Heat last night. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We got more action from the Sweaty Butcher. Billy Friedrich says the Oilers are dead to me. It was my fault for the bullishness, but I'm going to make it all back and more. I'm already on them in game 3 and the team total over. But I apologize for the money I took out of my friend's wallets. Doesn't help with the sleep, I tell you that much. The respect play of the day is in as well. Duncan Robinson under 5.5 points. Oh, no, that must have been... God, I'm tripping. That had to be from yesterday. Nice job. Respect play today from yesterday. Cashing. Just my 2 cents in the house. Today, it's Aaron Gordon, 3+ assists. Get this copied and pasted. So we have all the information that we need to succeed. That's exactly what we've been doing on the show thus far for a little while. Nuke Worker ready to get to work. Resmob says Rockets first quarter and Robinson under points kept me from jumping yesterday. Nuke Worker ready to get to work. And shout out to Razor Sharp Picks, giving back as he always does. Sent 10 Pub Sports Radio gifted memberships. Nate Dogg receiving one. Nate Dogg has given out so many of these as well. Nate Dogg, you've been such a great friend of the channel. Cal, Real Deal Prime, JZ, Steve Eleftherian, JZ Mestas, Michael Johnson, Eric Rosas, Ivan Tokarev, and Casey Koenig receiving the gifts from Razor. Thank you. What a special day you had yesterday. And you have earned all of this. Everything that you got and everything that you get, you have earned, and you lead by example. Crystal Craig Miss Baseball in the house. We have Jerry Davis, Brandon the Great, ready to get to work. Shout out to Brandon, Philly Eagle Flyer, out kayaking. Look at that. Red Sox game tied at plus 154. Smart Money Bets. Jimmy Gomez in the house. Great to see you, Jimmy. Philly Eagle Flyer. Gorky ready to get to work. And a lot of love going out to Joey Harb. Yeah, it's good to see that. We're gonna figure out what else we can do. And again, you know, I wouldn't have known this was happening. We wouldn't have known that this was necessarily happening, you know, if it wasn't for Justin McKelvey. You know, we have guys in our group who they notice when someone is not around, and you know, we're not as strong today as we were yesterday. That's for real. Dougie Wise free bands play of the day is the Knicks -1. Bonus play is Westbrook. Under 11.5 points for Dougie Wise. Let's get that copied and pasted. It is time to get to work. Ricky, Bobby, Steve G, Saturated, Troy Torrance here with his action. Toby Lane on the Lightning and the Blues. Look, I moved on the Lightning, and I'm very uncomfortable. But we'll have just the man to break that all down here joining us right now. So let me just copy and paste a couple more bets here. North Ender ready to go. T-Moss. Saturated says 60K worth of Fireball. Wine Time. Spreadsheet play today in baseball is the Arizona Diamondbacks from our Ronnie Crawford. Let's get that locked and loaded here. They let 5-2 yesterday. It was 5-1. Thought at least I could get the push with the Diamondbacks -1, but it was not a 2B. NHL play today is St. Louis Blues for Ron Crawford as well. Let's get that locked in here. Thank you, Ron, for always sharing your best bets with us. Plays of the day: TJ Chicago, Minnesota first 5 under 4.5, and LA first 5 money line. Both lines he is beaten. As always, TJ coming off a really strong day yesterday with us on the show. I joined him on Chicago, Minnesota. Of course, I had to go first 3 under 2.5, which is going to cost me extra vig. But it's been working, so we'll keep doing it. Vegas, Minnesota, first period over 1.5 for Razor. Chase J says, really thinking going to bet the Dallas Stars. Look, again, I had them to win game 2. That was the only side that I've been on in the 3 games. I've got the futures on Dallas. I see it. But Colorado's a very tough hockey team, and we're not counting chickens. We are not counting chickens. Steve G. Sharon Pulliam Samit says Detroit Pistons are a must bet tonight. I'm interested. Big Daddy Boom, Leon 9 Legacy. So many great cappers in the chat. Mike Wilkerson ready to get to work. True a la 4th and 1 Entertainment. Gorky always blessing our action. Moving on to EuroLeague games today. Gorky, thank you for all that you do for us, my friend. And Gorky moving on. Panata -5.5 and Fenner money line. It is time to get Pistons team total over 106.5 for Mr. Heat. Hopefully I've copied and pasted all of the action because it's time to get to work now. So one last thing about Joey Harb and just want to just say that we were fortunate to cap with him, and our love goes out to his family and to his friends and to his loved ones, because we lost a good one, and we are less than today than we were yesterday. Let's get to work. Please welcome from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow, the star of the Ice Guys, here to break down the National Hockey League with us, and a little bit of baseball, coming off a 2-1 start to the season. He is here as he's opened up his MLB account. Also, as I said, coming off a 9-3 plus 6.13 unit day on Thursday, April 17th, just 7 days ago. Let's stay hot. Please welcome our friend, Mr. Ian Cameron, to the show. Bobano, my friend, how are you?
Good to be with you. NHL, MLB, NBA playoffs, although I'm only talking NHL and a little MLB today. So lots going on. And congrats to Razor Sharp. Holy shit, I saw that yesterday. My goodness, with the 50K hit at Keeneland Racetrack. Beer. There you go. Just a great job by our guy. Wow.
Yeah, he is a master and a monster and a very young man who still has a lot more. I mean, you know what's next? 6 figures. Bobano. That is next. A 6 figures.
Always strive for more. Yep.
Very, very young man who has a lot more capping in front of him. Phil the Kill. We love that horse sound. We need that horse sound. And very
gotta bust it out for that. That's a special occasion.
Yeah. And very quickly, Nasty Nate, his neighbor, Pizza Pete, lost his bowel cancer yesterday as well. Our thoughts go out to your friend Nasty. I'm sorry, and I know you've been going through quite a bit of this over the last little bit. And Nasty Nate's message is important. Life is short. Stop complaining and live. And I would like to add love. Love the people you care about with as much as you possibly can, with much passion, with as much fervor as you can. Love as strongly as you possibly can. Let everybody know.
Hey, Stephen Stills, listen to him. Love the one you're with. It's a great old song, and it's so true.
Yeah. Yep. And love the ones that you aren't with, that you love.
That's true.
Love. That's the most important thing, is just let everybody know. Let's get to work, Bobano, my friend. We start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I have not slept now for 3 days. I am a shaky, sweaty mess. I'll be messing up words and messing up numbers, but I'm making money. And that is important. It's not everything, but it's important. I told everybody that there were 2 playoff series that I was betting overtime in every game. And I'm up over 5 units, betting overtime in every game of Dallas, Colorado. And I am down 1 unit, betting overtime in Florida, Tampa, and I will continue to do this. I'm on the draw at plus 317. That draw last night, plus 341, banger for me. And Bobano has opened the door for me on draws. I track Bobano's action very closely and have for years. And I understood as I've tracked it that this is where I want to utilize it, is in the playoffs, and it's been successful so far. Panthers Lightning, when MLB Arena in Tampa, Florida. Of course, Bobrovsky versus Vasilevsky. Andre Vasilevsky with such a great regular season. Not quite a Hellebuck Vezina winning regular season, but a very strong regular season. Vasilevsky saves 10 shots in game 1 of 17. So 10 saves in 17 shots. Florida power play, that was just 23.5%. We know it's better than that. We know that Matthew Tkachuk, wasn't healthy. We know that Ekblad's still serving the suspension, missed the last 8. Not that he's a power play specialist or anything like that, but we know that they were less than for a lot of the weeks leading into the playoffs. Went 3 for 3 on the power play against the Lightning. And there's a lot of talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning's penalty kill and how it will be much improved, and without knowing it, and not expecting Cirelli in the lineup, I don't know how it really can be, except that there'll be more effort and Vasilevsky will step up. Let's talk about this line history and set up a couple more things before we hand it off. So first off, there's been a line move towards the Lightning. It's come back a little bit. It's come back quite a bit. Sorry, it's come back 7 cents in the last 3 hours. This got up to minus 124. I imagine it's the news that Cirelli will not be in the lineup. I imagine that is the news. They're already missing Oliver Bjorkstrand. Not easy to not be full healthy coming into the playoffs. This total opened up at 5.5. It quickly went to 6, and now it is back at 5.5. Matthew Tkachuk, 2 power play goals and an assist in his first game after a 2-month absence. Look, we know he's hurting. He was hurting yesterday. The recovery is tough when you've been off for 2 months, but he is a superstar, and he did what superstars do. The Panthers dominated game 1. They won the face-off battle 34-26. They were perfect on the power play. They out-hit the Lightning badly, 48-28. Jake Gensel and Braden Point scored for the Lightning, who played that last 33 and a half minutes without Anthony Cirelli. So, Cooper said we'll see. We'll see if he can take the warm-ups. If he's cleared to play, he'll play. Cirelli was on the second line, of course, with Hagel. He was on the second power play unit. And so Nick Paul will come into that top 6 spot. And although he doesn't have the offense, he has the intangibles. He has the want. He has the gotta wanna. He has all of that. Mitchell Chafee is expected to enter in the lineup. So that is the situation at hand. Ian Cameron, I am on the Lightning. And I'd be very comfortable if I wasn't. I think I was just too caught up in the bounce back performance, not as caught up in the X's and O's. And I'm also on the draw. Take it away for us, Bobano. Game 2, Panthers Lightning.
Yeah, I was on Tampa Bay in game 1 as well. Thankfully, I had the over, and it was a little bit more on the over. So we got out of that game still ahead. But certainly I was looking at that as a very troubling result for Tampa Bay, because I thought for Florida, with all the lineup changes down the stretch, Paul Maurice resting guys being in and out due to either rest and or injuries. And then you've got Matthew Tkachuk coming back, but would he be ready to be at his absolute best top form after being out for months? And boy, he put that notion to rest. Holy mackerel, what a game from Matthew Tkachuk in his return. And it looked like the rest did the Panthers wonders. There was no rust. There was no issue with rhythm and continuity. None at all. They played a really strong game. Now, it did help that, I don't think Vasi was great. There were some egregious breakdowns by the Lightning. How do you let Bennett get behind you, all alone, and to redirect the first goal of the game past Vasilevsky like that? Not what you want to see. This is a big game for Tampa. I know if they can win on the road, but Tampa's one of those teams that, out of all the playoff teams entering these playoffs, Tampa Bay's got one of the worst road records of any Stanley Cup playoff team. They have been not great on the road. I think it's vital for them to win this and avoid an 0-2 hole at home, where they've been so strong this year at MLB Arena, 29-9-4. I'm going to take Tampa minus 160 first period goal. This has been a good angle overall in the playoffs. I'm okay laying some juice for this because I think I don't want to ask Tampa to score 2 for me in the first period against this Florida team. I'm just asking them to get 1 for me. And I feel laying the price for that in this spot is worth it. So Tampa Bay goal in the first period, minus 160. I'm going to join you on the money line as well. I personally like and have more money personally, just so everyone knows, on the first period bet than I do on the money line. I feel good about that one. But I am still going to be on minus 116, Tampa Bay money line, best price I see right now. I'm going to take over 5.5 again because I feel if Tampa Bay wins, it's going to be a higher scoring affair. So just over 5.5, minus 110. And I'm joining you on the draw as well in this game. There's 2 draws on this card for me tonight. 2. There's one and there's another game that I have the draw in. I think this one makes sense. I think Tampa's, even if they win, I could see this being a struggle because that's how impressed I was by Florida. I don't think they're running roughshod over Florida tonight. I think if Tampa Bay is going to win, it's going to be a close one, and it's got a damn good chance, in my opinion, for overtime. So best price with the draw, let's go with it, plus 320.
Plus 320 on the draw. The over 5.5, you got at what?
Even money, minus 110, or actually minus 110. Yeah, minus
110. And then we got Bobano, Tampa Bay first to score. And what is the Lightning money line?
Minus 116 is the one I have.
Minus 116. Bobano firing shots, heavy shots. Benny Pennybombs on Barkov point, Ryan Harna point, and Verhaeghe 2 shots on goal. That's a plus 210. We got K-Wolf on the Lightning. And AM says, I hope the Panthers win. I'd love to take Lightning game 3 on the road. Wow. But you also have the Lightning for the series. Big Scott on the Lightning
that I have
1.
too, and I'll throw this is not official. Just sure. This will not be part of the show plays, but it is a personal bet. And if you have access to this type of bet, I think it's worth a look. I think not. I like Tampa to score in the first period of this game, but if you can shop around and find a book that gives you the first 10 minutes, and you have the ability to take Tampa Bay to score a goal in the first 10 minutes of the game, I think that's a solid look for them to be able to get on the scoreboard here in the first 10 minutes, which is plus 165, for example, at Bet365. That's Tampa plus 165 to score in the first 10 minutes. I've got a piece of that as well.
That's a relief what JW is saying. I'm seeing too many Panthers bettors. That's a relief because I'm not. I'm seeing everybody on the Lightning. So that's a relief. I'm happy to hear that, JW. Very pleased to hear that.
And I don't care what I'm seeing. So,
and
there you go.
Also, we're just trying to be the best cappers we can be. Yep. But you can wear blinkers if you want, if that helps your capping. The other part of this game is, I think that if the Lightning are going to succeed in the first half of the game, that the Panthers will not get much offense. I think it'll be a very tight, conservative game. So then I've got to decide at what point do I want the over, and I'm looking for the over 4.5 live is what I'm looking at. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, the over 4.5, and that's how I expect it to bang out here. That's how I expect it to bang out. David Redling says draws are like betting home runs. They're both long-term losers. Probabilities are very much against you long-term. David Redling, we had the breakdowns yesterday of the amount of overtime games in the playoffs this year and last year and the year before from Billy Friedrich. I've been tracking them for 4 years. And, I know it's easy to say because I'm up so much right now in the playoffs doing it because I think I only bet 1 in the regular season. But we'll see. Everything is tracked, Dave Redling, and all of our statistics are tracked, as you see on the screen, for accountability and honesty, so you can see what's working and see what's not working. And you're always welcome to have your angles that you think work for us or are a detriment for us. Bobano on Tampa Bay to score a goal in the first period at -160. Lightning money line at -116. The over 5.5 -110. The draw at +320. Steve G looking at Bennett for a point. He's also on Florida +1.5. And Spenny with the Lightning combo SGP is Hagel point, Braden point for a point, Kucherov for 3 shots on goal. And I'm on the Lightning and the draw myself. Now, I'm not hammering the board on draws. I told everybody it was just 2 series that I was attacking every game. And I'm going to stick to the plan as it's been successful. Let's roll on. Next spot on the board, 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the East first round game 3. Toronto up 2-0. The Maple Leafs 52-26-4, 25-13-3 on the road at the Ottawa Senators 45-30-7, 27-11-3 at home. I saw Nicholas Earl wrote, of these teams who are down 2-0, who do you think has a chance to come back? And a few people wrote nobody, and there was, and Bobano, every single year we see a team come back from 2-0. Every single year we see a team come back from 3-1. And I'm not sitting here saying that the Sens are that team, but I do believe what the Leafs are doing is unsustainable. And after watching them through 2 games, I'm actually much more comfortable not having a future bet on them. From a fan type of situation, even though I'm not a fan of Leafs, as a hockey fan, I kind of want to have one in my pocket. Let's talk about Stolarz and how good he's been, how tough he looks, what a leader he looks like, what a phenomenal pickup for the Leafs. Great regular season. He's looked phenomenal in the playoffs here. Linus Ullmark has had the same question marks follow him into the playoffs that have kind of dogged him throughout his career. He needs to step up. Toronto power play, 24.8% regular season, 77.9 penalty killing. What we talked about, both of these special teams for the Leafs and the Senators had very, very similar numbers in the regular season. Let's go into the total here and the money line and just set this up for Bobano. This total opened up 5.5 -117. It's now 5.5 -114. So we've had a slight tightening of VIG, basically. From a money line standpoint, we have Ottawa at -125. There's been a big move on them now. They got it to -130, which is great. I'm pleased to see it. I got -115. I could have got -130. I could have got better than that, too. I was just too caught up in capping everything else. A great job yesterday, DC Capper. Love to see it. So the Leafs were outshot 33-24 and out hit 56-30 in game 1, and they won 6-2. In game 2, they were outshot 28-21 and out hit 44-25, and they won 3-2 in overtime. And I understand that their top 6 forwards are arguably the best in the NHL, but I truly don't believe this is sustainable. Now, the Leafs could win this series. The Leafs could sweep this series. If they keep getting outshot by margin and out hit by margin, they will not reach the Stanley Cup Finals. The competition is going to get tougher and tougher. Max Domi scored a 309 of overtime. Look, it was great. Ty was in the crowd. It was great. It's just good. It was good. It was fun to see. It was fun for hockey. Tavares has continued his phenomenal regular season. What a season he's put together. What a mind-blowingly phenomenal season out of nowhere for Tavares. Goal and assist. Morgan Riley also stepping up. Brady Tkachuk and Gaudette scored for Ottawa. In the Matthews-Marner era, we know they're 1-8 in NHL playoff series, but they haven't had a 2-0 lead in the postseason since 2002, and this franchise has never lost after going up 2-0 at home in a series in this long history. They're 10-0 in that situation. Senators are a healthy group. Leafs are still playing without Max Pacioretty and Yanni Hakanpää. I don't think Hakanpää would make the lineup. Pacioretty might. Take it away, Bobano. I am on the Senators at -115. The floor is yours.
Yeah, well, this is almost a must for them. They need this one badly. Won't win this series down 3-0. I don't think they're winning this series anyway. But certainly, if they hope to have any hope, they've got to win here tonight. Toronto hasn't played a great game yet in this series. They played good, and the special teams is what won them game 1. I don't think they played great in game 2. And obviously, the second period, Ottawa played well. First period, Toronto was opportunistic. What if the Leafs ramp it up another notch? Because if that happens, I think Ottawa's in real, real trouble. I'm not rushing to take Ottawa now at this price, and you're paying a tax for a home ice advantage that doesn't exist. It's not going to exist all that much, in my opinion, because that place is going to be full of blue and white. It's going to be full of Leaf fans there in Ottawa. I think it's going to be 60-40 split. Maybe you give the Senators, a little bit of an edge as far as percentages, but it's not going to be much. There's going to be a lot of Leaf fans there. So, but I do like Ottawa to come out strong early in this game. They have to get the lead. Okay, they've fallen behind in game 1. They've fallen behind in game 2. They got to play from ahead for a change. Put a little game pressure on Toronto for a change. Because if they fall behind again and the Leaf fans are going to make noise and take over that building, if that happens, that's going to be trouble. And this young team is probably going to get nervous, tight, a little bit down, a bit of they're going to just question themselves a little bit. So it's very important for Ottawa to have a strong start. So the angle's still been profitable. It's not been nearly as great here these last couple games, but we'll grab Ottawa here at minus 165. It's the best price available to score in the first period. That's the only Ottawa bet I have. I did not take Ottawa money line like I did in the Tampa game. Tampa, I like to win the game. I'm not as convinced with Ottawa. Do think they get on the board in the first, but that's as far as I'm going to go. I also like the over by Fecta here. I think it's going to be one of those games where with the scene shifting to Ottawa, it's going to be a bit of a frenetic start. And this series wouldn't shock me to see it take a bit of a zigzag theory as far as the total is concerned, because we saw the first game, first period over, full game over. Second game, the first period went over, but the second game stayed under for the full game. The first period went over. I think this one, the first period and the full game, go over the total. I think Ottawa's got to push pace. They got to get on the board. And if they do, Toronto just can't play passive like they have. Because when Toronto's had the lead throughout the first 2 games of this series, they have not kept their foot on the gas pedal as much. They've kind of sat back, protected the house, and just looked for their chances when, Ottawa makes a mistake. If Ottawa gets the first goal, which I think they have the chance to tonight, it'll open up the game even more. So I'm going to go with over 1.5 minus 110 first period, over 5.5 minus 114 for full game.
Over 5.5 minus 114. And was that minus 165 on the first period goal?
First period goal for Ottawa, correct. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. The Leafs get away with murder because they have so much skill. They're so phenomenally talented, and we'll see how long they can get away with it. I really stress that that you can't believe what you've seen through 2 games of the series. Look, I'm not saying that this is the best example of that. I think LA Edmonton is the best example of not believing necessarily what you've seen through 2 games, but I think that there's going to be a punch back. And I'm truly, as a hockey fan, excited to see how the Leafs handle that punch back. Bobano on the Sens first period goal. First period over 1.5, full game over 5.5, and the Senators money line. Chase J.
No Sens money line. No Sens money line. Just
sorry, that's me. Sens money line.
That's you.
Minus 115 there. I don't have you for Sens money line. My apologies there. And Chase J. Yes, I would do that. Now I've got futures on the Oilers, so it's not necessary, but I am interested in it. We'll talk more about that probably tomorrow. We got to speed up a little bit because we need we have Bobano for 25 minutes, and we need him to talk about the first game at least in Major League Baseball. Next up for us, 9 p.m. Eastern, we have the West first round game 3. The series is tied at 1. Vegas Golden Knights 50-22-10, 21-13-7 on the road at Minnesota Wild, 45-30-7, 22-17 and 2 at home. A poor home record, but it wasn't a poor home record with Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek in the lineup. We're at XL Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. I told you guys I think Gustafson's better than Nathan Hill. I told you guys I don't think Vegas' forwards are tough enough, and I bet Minnesota Wild in game 2 at plus 190. I wasn't in on the first game, but I bet game 2 at plus 190. I got my cash. I feel good. I don't feel the need to add anything here. I'm very interested to see if Vegas has the ability to smack back. Everybody else in the world is much higher on this hockey team than I am, and we've talked about it to great lengths. Vegas, 28.3% power play in the regular season. Phenomenal power play. Jack Eichel's the best player on the ice, but he hasn't been playing like the best player on the ice. I know he's capable of doing it. 75.7% penalty killing. Minnesota, 20.9% power play and horrible penalty killing all season long. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Just 2 games left before we get into Major League Baseball. Vegas right now, minus 155. They opened up at minus 142, a 13-cent move towards them. I get it. Expecting the bounce back performance after a truly pitiful one. This total is a 5.5. It opened up minus 115 to the over. Now it's minus 110 to the over. A tightening of VIG and a very short, small move towards the under. Knights won game 1, 4-2 before losing badly 5-2 on Tuesday. The Knights outshot the Wild 27-20 in game 1, but they were out hit 54-29. I really think all of the hits that some of these teams are taking are going to show here. They're going to show. I think they're going to show for the Leafs. I think people are going to notice it. In game 2, the Wild went out, took a 3-0 first period lead when they were up huge, and Vegas outshot them 22-5 the rest of the way after, I think it was 4-0, 22-5 the rest of the way. So they were out. The Knights again outshot the Wild 32-17, but they were again out hit 37-38, and Hill made 12 saves. Matt Boldy, third goal in 2 games. What a sniper of the highest quality. Foligno has so much character. Zuccarello, we know how good he is with the puck on his stick. It's just someone's got to make sure that he gets that puck on his stick. He doesn't go out and get it himself. Gustafsson stopped 29 shots. Kaprizov, 2 goals and 3 assists. This was the Wild's first victory of the Golden Knights all season. Vegas won all 3 regular season meetings and won game 1. Take it away, Bobano. I have not moved on this game. I'm not sure if I will. Vegas, Minnesota.
I thought for sure Minnesota was going to be down 2-0, and I thought for sure I would be on Minnesota here in game 3, and I've been debating it all morning if I'm going to be. I still think there's a lot to like of what I've seen out of Minnesota. First of all, you have to remember they were banged up like crazy injury-wise second half of the year, missing like half their team. 2 defensemen, Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek, were both missing. And, you know, it obviously affected them. There's no question in those games. But now, of course, they've got everybody healthy, which you like to see going into this series. And the Vegas Golden Knights have not had any answers for Kaprizov and Boldy, okay? And think about the fact that was in Vegas, where Bruce Cassidy gets last line change. He gets the defensive matchup that he wants against Kaprizov's line, and they still couldn't shut him down. I'm worried about that if I'm Vegas going into this game and for the rest of this series, that on home ice, when I can dictate the matchup game, I had no answers to bottle up Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy, who were making magic together on the ice in both of the first 2 games, even the game 1 loss for Minnesota, where I thought they played pretty well, even though they lost. So that's a concern. Obviously, this angle's in play here that's been very good. The team off a loss to score in the first period. So we're on that. Again, a bit of an expensive price, but I'm taking it. It's been good. Vegas in the first period to score at minus 170. So we are on that. But I'm going to go ahead and take for the full game money line Minnesota Wild here. It's a unique approach. I do think Vegas gets an early one. But I think Minnesota, there's serious value with them here at this price. In a building that's going to be rocking. Keep in mind, XL Energy Center, it's been a while since their team has seen their team come home for game 3 of a playoff series tied 1-1. Often they're down 2-0 already, and almost like hope is lost. I think there's a pendulum swing here, and the more I watch Vegas, the more there's some holes and there's some cracks. And I've got my Can't Find Him with a Telescope Ice Guys shirt on, as you can see. And that was Jack Eichel the other night. Couldn't find him with a telescope on the ice for the Vegas Golden Knights. Totally invisible. And you got to give Minnesota credit for shutting him down. If that line doesn't get going with him and Stone, Minnesota can win this series. And I think they have a chance to win game 3 back home, because I think that building is going to be pumped up. And the price is good enough to take them. So plus 142, we'll take Minnesota.
And Vegas first goal was at what? Or first period goal was at what?
Minus 170 with that.
That's 170 there. Wild plus 142.
Vegas scores in the first period, but I think Minnesota wins like 3-2.
I love it. I at this point am comfortable just counting my money. That plus 190 was a huge score. It
was a great bet. Yep.
And I don't feel the need to go back in right now. I
think if Vegas wins tonight, I would maybe consider going right back to Minnesota in game 4.
I would as well. I want to be right about Vegas and Colorado so badly. might even mean more than money. Because I was adamant all year long to you guys about the toughness, and I was adamant about not thinking Vegas was that good. And look, we're just getting started. I we'll see. I'm going to sit with it longer. It's not against the wildest idea that I join you on the Wild. Bobano on Vegas, first period goal, Wild plus 142. We got to move quickly. We have them for 18 more minutes. We've also had great stuff from campers in the chat. Spenny Pennybomb, Stone, and Eichel for a point. Hurdle, 2 shots on goal. And Earl Sports Bets. I talked about the tweet that he put out. So he is, and of course, series doesn't start until road team wins. Series props, Montreal plus 760, Ottawa plus 600, St. Louis plus 700, New Jersey plus 1100, Edmonton plus 375 for a quarter unit each. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I'll be watching closely. Final spot on the board, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I do have a possible bet here. I do like the under 5 at plus money, but I don't. Winnipeg, my feeling is that they're going to come out and play a perfect road game that St. Louis can still win. Look, St. Louis can win a 2-1 game. Right now, Kyle Connor's the best player on the ice. He's scoring on the most important moments. And if he's a Detroit Red Wing fan, then if he's on the Detroit Red Wings, then Steve Yzerman's going to get out of jail free card here because he wants to go back and play in Michigan. And he doesn't want to be in the bright lights, and he's a phenomenal hockey player. Hellebuck versus Binnington. Winnipeg power play phenomenal all year. Penalty killing was good. St. Louis had an average power play and poor penalty killing. Jets won game 1, 5-3. It was 3-2 Blues going to the third period, and the Jets took over. The Jets outshot the Blues 26-17, but they were out hit 53-33. Game 2 is different. Every single team that was out hit by margin got out hit again the second game. There's a real issue with their toughness. Not the Jets. They came out and they out hit the Blues in game 2. Kyle Connor scored his second consecutive game winner. We have this total right now at 5, and it's plus 122 to the under. It opened up plus 115 to the under. I know people love betting over 5s, and I get it. And I wanted to talk it out, but I'm not on it yet. St. Louis money line right now is plus 104. They opened up plus 101. Everybody's sexy pick was the Blues to beat the Jets. Did everyone not watch the Jets all season long? I mean, I understand that Monty changed everything. The Jets are a phenomenal hockey team. A coach and a big run late in the season is not going to.
People were worried about, though, the failures in the past and Hellebuck's playoff failures past. But so far, so good.
Things can change, but I was just astonished of people questioning whether the Jets would take this team out. Jets take a 2-0 playoff series lead for the first time in the last 3 years. The past 2 seasons, Winnipeg won the first game, then lost the next 4. So obviously that's fresh in people's heads. Scott Arniel's a tough coach. He's a tough guy. He says he doesn't even care what this. He says this is all about this game right here. That's all that matters. We do our post-game work. We know how hard it is, and we go after it. Look who they picked up. They picked up Braden's brother, Luke, one of my favorite players, top 5 favorite players in the league. So much toughness. You had Logan Stanley destroy Jordan Kyrou, who's not on the injury report. Braden Shen had an answer. Look, the Shen brothers are tough. Luke Shen said after the game, you go home, you feel sore, but it's a good sore, and it's a good tired. Luke Shen had 7 hits. I mean, look at it. He said, when you come away with the win, it obviously doesn't hurt as much. I mean, that's just a fucking gamer right there who's going to hurt you. Velarde's been out of action since March 23rd. They don't have Nikolai Ehlers, and they're still getting the job done. Now, the Blues don't have Dylan Holloway. That's a loss as well. Take it away, Bobano. We have first pitch in game 1, 25 minutes away, so we're okay for time. So take it away, Jets Blues.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I like here with the St. Louis Blues, as far as you know it, goal in the first period. We like it with St. Louis here, team that lost not only the previous game, but the previous 2 games. And the great thing about this bet, you know what's great about this? This is the one I like the most, St. Louis to score in the first period. Do you know why? Because despite losing game 1 and despite losing game 2, St. Louis Blues scored in the first period in both games. So they've been able to crack Connor Hellebuck and get on the board in the first 20 minutes. And I certainly expect that here, because expect an all-out, burst out of the gates type of start here for the St. Louis Blues tonight. Best price with that, by the way, minus 130 for St. Louis to score in the first period. Minus 130 with that. Cheaper price, which I like, compared to some of the other ones. So St. Louis goal in the first period. I'm going to take St. Louis money line. This, to me, if they don't win this, they're done. The one thing about St. Louis is, despite losing the last 2 games, and Winnipeg put the clamps down, But 5-on-5, they were better in game 2 than game 1. St. Louis really thrived off the power play in game 1 with a lot of the goals they scored. But in game 2, they did carry the play more, and that's at least a positive, even though they didn't finish on any of those chances and they ended up losing, obviously. But that was a 2-1 game, remember, late in the game in game 2. So they were there, and they fell just short 2-1. So I will take the Blues here. This might be the only game they win in the series. I'm not ready to totally say that yet, but I did circle this spot to back St. Louis if they were down 2-0. So Blues goal first period, Blues money line, and this is the other draw that I like in this on this slate tonight. I think Winnipeg is just so good right now in the defensive zone and with Hellebuck that St. Louis is going to have to grind their way to a win. I don't see it coming easily. I don't see it being a blowout. So plus 304 with the draw for me. Jets and Blues will take that as well.
And what did you get on the Blues money line?
Sorry, I didn't even mention that. You're right. Blues money line at plus 110.
You are in business. Bobano on the Blues first period, goal minus 130. Blues money line draw plus 304. AM says in the playoffs, NHL playoffs, lower seed team loses both game 1 and 2 on the road. Betting on them to win game 3 at home is showing a 60% win rate. He's on the Blues and the Senators money line. Just the Senators for me in that situation, but I like it. Robert Cherry on Vegas minus 1.5 and the over 5.5. Let's review all action before we move into Major League Baseball. Great job, Bobano, my man. I'm on the Lightning money line, and I'm very uncomfortable about it. And the draw at plus 317. Bobano's on Tampa Bay to score in the first period. Lightning money line over 5.5 and the draw in that one. In game 2, I'm on the Senators money line. Bobano's on Senators first period goal. First period over 1.5 for both teams and the over 5.5 full game. Bobano's on the Wild plus 142. I don't think I'm going to get there, but I'm, obviously I've started to do a much better job of winning and stopping something. It's been a very big problem of mine throughout my career, and I'm going to try not to get there, honestly. But Wild plus 142 for Bobano and Vegas first period goal for Bobano. And then he's on Blues first period goal, Blues money line and the draw. And that is the National Hockey League for Thursday.
Keep in mind,
April.
the Blues have a double-digit game win streak going at home, entering this game tonight, going back to the regular season. So we'll see if this environment can raise them up tonight. But yeah, I think it's 11 or 12 games in a row at home the Blues have won.
Yeah, look, they got hot down the stretch. There's nothing. They got very hot down the stretch. They have a phenomenal coach, and they have a good team.
Well, they better win tonight, or else good night, nurse.
Yeah, no, I agree. We move on to Major League Baseball. Bobano has joined us for one game, and he's freshly in the black. 2-1 is Mr. Ian Cameron. I'm coming off a 5-2 day to get back in the black, but good God, I think I left so much money on the table. And Reds cashed, Philly, New York Mets over 7 pushed, Tigers score first cashed at plus money, Cubs first 5. I mean, they just, every time you think they're out of it, this team has been wonderful to bet. Cash, Twins run line cashed. I told you Buxton changed their entire season with that catch. It's been hard for me not to take them on the run line in this game that's popping off in 20 minutes, but I haven't yet. Houston, Toronto, first 3 under 2.5 lost. But the full game under 8.5 cash. That's the first 3 that I've lost, where the first 5 would have cashed. Diamondbacks -1 would have, even if I just got the push, would have given me a 5-1 day, but not to be 5-2. And I really screwed up the Giants in Logan Webb. Giants first 5 pushed. That was a real nice situation to have money in my pocket, and I screwed that up. All right, let's get to work here in Major League Baseball. And we start in 19 minutes, and I have bet this baseball game. You already heard from TJ, his best bet's the first 5 under 4.5 in White Sox Twins. I'm on the first 3 under 2.5. The first 3s are expensive, and I'm very, very interested in if this VIG is going to hurt me. It hasn't yet. Nate Dogg says Pacioretty is in the lineup for Toronto tonight. And Robert Cherry, Jets correct score at 3-1, adding to his action. That's really cool, actually. I'm going to copy and paste that right now. Robert, my man. So Shane Smith is a very talented young pitcher. Just turned 25 years old. He is very, very talented. Last year, he was in AA Biloxi, went up to AAA Nashville, and he was excellent. In Double-A, he had a 3.08 ERA, a 1.05 WHIP. That was for 16 starts. He was in on 27 games. Then he went up to Nashville, and they were worried about his innings because he's a highly thought-of young pitcher. And so he started pitching out of the pen. So he only, threw a short amount, but he had the exact same WHIP there in Nashville as he did in Biloxi. And he's looked very good through 4 starts thus far this season. We have Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let me just quickly grab the weather here. Let me refresh this too, see if it's changed at all. This is from very, very early this morning or last night. 51 Fahrenheit, feels like 46, 5.4 miles per hour in. It's between 5.4 and 6.3 miles per hour here. TJ says the only below average start for Smith was the back-to-back at Boston. I'll give that a pass. I thought that was an extremely impressive back-to-back against the Red Sox. Very impressive. And overall, if you look at his splits, he's shutting everybody down, righties, lefties. His last start, the second of in Fenway Park, back-to-back against Boston. He went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 1 walk. I'm fine with that. It was a 4.3 extra inning loss, 2.82 ERA, 0.94 WHIP. His K to walk ratio isn't really what you want, but he's just not getting barreled, and that's what you want. He only has 15 Ks in 22 1/3 with 8 walks. And then Chris Paddock. Look, his numbers look terrible, but it was just one bad start. Again, we fought over you guys calling Emerson Hancock trash, and we will continue to fight over the 6th overall draft pick 2020. Why you put so much into 2/3 of an inning? That should not create your evaluation of a baseball player. It's ignorant if you feel that way. And Chris Paddock is a questionable talent, but I trust the Minnesota Twins brass, and he had one bad start. Other than that, he's being lights out. And the White Sox are hitting 204, 592 OPS versus righties. His last start at the Braves, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 6 Ks, and 1 walk. White Sox versus righties, 204, 592. They don't hit him. Twins versus righties, 232, 677 OPS. Our guy Paco Healy in the house. White Sox bullpen, 4.58 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. They're better than they look. And the Twins bullpen, 3.57 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. Very quick line move here. This is the lone game that we'll have Bobano for, but he was profitable in the one game he's seen thus far. And we'll get more MLB with Bobano. We have the Twins here at minus 212. So what that means, if it's gone from minus 224 to minus 212, is that, and this total also being where it is, this total opened up at 8.5 at some places. A lot of them were at 8 if they came out around 4 or 5. If they came out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you got 8.5. It's now a 7.5. So it's moving to the under, and it's moving away from the favorite. So this is not a cash cow situation here, and that's what you are seeing. We're getting the odds logic numbers here from our cappers in the chat. TJ saying 76% tickets and 87% cash on the under. And Bobano, the floor is yours. White Sox, Twinkies, afternoon baseball.
Yeah, the one game I'm doing and I'm passing, so I don't know how much help I'm going to be here, but it's just a very difficult game. I'm not fully on board with Paddock. I'm not at this price. I know he's been a little bit better. We'll see. And this is a lineup, though, that at home he can probably neutralize. It wouldn't shock me. And Shane Smith's actually been better than anticipated. There's been a ton of money on the under. I couldn't say no to that. I leaned to the under 8.5. It went down to 8. I'm even seeing 7.5s right now. There's been worse pitchers in this series than these two guys, and there's been some unders between these two teams. So again, these lineups are very, very sketchy. But Paddock has been better lately, and let's be honest, the White Sox lineup is very, very thin. So this is an opportunity for Paddock maybe to gain more confidence. So it's a pass for me.
Yeah, I get it. I get the pass. Yeah. ERA means very little to us as well. That's why we have WHIP and of course all the other. I hear what you're saying, Gorky. Jerry Davis says this is the exact matchup that Paddock got killed. I couldn't disagree with that more. Couldn't disagree. That was here. That was in Chicago in the very first game of the season. He's now had 3 subsequent starts, and he's at home. So I couldn't disagree with that one more, Jerry. It's very, very, very different situation. Who cares if it's the same lineup to me, if you have enough of a breather in between here. So there we go. Bobano, is there anything else that you want to touch on in Major League Baseball here before we bid adieu?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Mariners love this afternoon. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Brian Wu has not been great. He hasn't been terrible, but he's not been great. Boston lost yesterday. Feels like a good bounce back spot for them. And Garrett Crochet's been lights out. My favorite bet of the afternoon card, Boston first 5 innings, -0.5, -120.
Oh, God.
You can make that official. I like it.
Red Sox first 5 -0.5. What was the juice on that?
-120.
-120. So are you backing Crochet, or are you kind of fading Wu? What is the number one angle in the cap?
Number one angle is I want Crochet on my side. He's been lights out. Every analytical statistic to back up his 1.13 ERA tells me he's legit what he's done to this point. Seattle, the hit last night, but like I say, I think they're up against it. Crochet's been probably their best starter to this point. I like that the Red Sox lost last night. You get them coming back here, bouncing back here at Fenway. So plus the -0.5. I don't want to worry about the Boston bullpen. That's another factor. So Boston -0.5, -120, first 5.
And Truth Teller parlayed Crochet over 7.5 Ks and over 17.5 outs. Bobano making a move here on the MLB card, and we are lucky and fortunate to have him capping with us. Bobano, we will break down that Mariners Red Sox game.
I like the Nats tonight again. They'll fade the Orioles. I've been doing that all series. By the way, they're in a bad way. You bet on Baltimore once they show you something right now, and they are not showing me anything right now. So I like Gorin and the Nats tonight in that game as well.
Is that something that you want to make official as we start opening up your baseball account?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's take Washington here. I'm just going to go. I have first 5 in full game, but I don't want to double up. Let's just go with the full game here on this one with Washington. I think Baltimore is they're in a bad way right now. -114, cheap price, Washington for me.
Bobano, excellent work. I've always cherished these Thursdays that we cap together here. The star of the Ice Guys. Very quickly, tell us about what live casts are happening here throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a live bet cast tonight, our first one of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Kind of, I didn't think about it at the time that the NFL draft is tonight. We'll see if that affects the turnout or the viewership. But nevertheless, we are on 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be on ahead of the draft. That's the good news. But looking forward to that. It's a great 4-game slate tonight. Ice Guys Stanley Cup Playoffs live betcast for our Patreon members. Check it out, patreon.com/Ice Guys. Of course, the show is every day, 2 p.m. Eastern time, Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. Check that out. Of course, the NBA OG Crew show, Monday went to Wednesday and Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and MLB Hitting the Books with my guys, Connor Mack. 4 days a week, usually Monday to Wednesday, as well as Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. No show today because there's not many night games on Thursdays, but we're usually with you 4 days a week.
Thank you for your time, angles, and hard work, Bobano. Please support Ian on X as well, at Bobano Bets. Ian, any last words for the Capper supporting the show, my friend?
No, just always great to be on here on a Wednesday. It's not Wednesday, on a Thursday. Great to be with everybody. It's a great time of year. NHL, NBA playoffs, MLB going on a daily basis. So get that cash. Jimmy, incredible run. I've noticed it that you've put on here the last week or so. Great run.
Thank you.
Long overdue. I know you're excited about it. Keep it going for sure. Great run. Great streak going in all sports. Stay red hot. And we'll see you again next week.
Thank you, my friend. There he is, Mr. Ian Cameron, star of the Ice Guys, Hitting the Books in the NBA OG show. And we got action from Bobano, who is 2-1 on the young season. It is time to bring on the host of Say Hey Plays, the co-host here on Betting with the Bag. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, our friend, Mr. Jose Bouquett, to the telecast. Jose, how are you?
Jimmy, you've had quite a morning here, but excited to talk baseball off a nice 2-0 day yesterday. That was sweaty, to say the least.
I should have smashed and grabbed that board. 5-2. All I could think about all night was the mistakes that I made, which is a good sign. I need double-digit units if you want me to goddamn sleep. What am I? Plus 0.85. Can't see either. I need more. I need more now.
That's a bad recipe right there, Jimmy. If you start gambling and you can't see.
Oh, look, I'll be fine. Let's get to work, my friend. We've capped White Sox Twinkies. It's popping off in 8 minutes. And I like the spot. I understand everything that TJ was talking about, and I moved on the first 3 under 2.5. Live account locked and loaded here as well if we want to make any moves. Although the issue for me with the uncomfort, and I'm sure TJ's uncomfort with the full game, was the bullpen day yesterday. How many arms were used? How many arms have been used? No days off type thing for the White Sox for a while. And so I also leads me towards the Twins, but this line's moving towards Shane Smith probably for a reason. I imagine they want Shane to go 7. If in the best case scenario. So I would have to take the run line. We cashed on it with ease yesterday. The -1 is too expensive. With all that being said, I'm comfortable with my position. Did you want to move on White Sox Twinkies, my friend?
No, I'm good. I'm off. I don't believe in Chris Paddock personally, so I'm off. I'll be very interested to see if the Twins can replicate these performances against actual good baseball teams.
Yeah, well, I will be betting that they can. I'll be betting that they can. Let's move on. Justin says Bet Rivers has a 4.5 first 5, but a 7.5 full game. Yeah, that's
concerning.
That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. I think with the line move towards the White Sox, I imagine that would entail Paddock getting touched here. I thought he had a great start in Atlanta. I know that the Brave sticks aren't probably where they want to be, but I'd like to see where it is for me. I've got the 7.5 now juiced heavily, -120 to the under, and the 5 at 4 at a pick'em. TJ says that 4.5 has to be -140 at least. Can you tell us the VIG on that 4, Justin? I'd be very, very nervous. Spooner liking the over 8 in Boston, Seattle. Says Seattle smacking lefties. Now want to fade Woo on the road. He's always pitched worse on the road and to lefties. I'd like to get through all of that. So let's go. AM says you can put Nolan Ryan on the mound, but I'm taking the over between these two teams at Fenway right now. So let's get into game 2 here on the board. We've already heard Bobano move on the Boston Red Sox first 5 -0.5, and we haven't fully broken this down. Now -134. Wow, it's getting less expensive. It's not a real 4.5, sure. No, that's true. But still, even the -136 to -134 makes me a little nervous. But I'm full of nerves right now. I'm a mess. Let's get into Fenway Park, Boston weather, 64 Fahrenheit, feels like 59, 5.4 miles per hour right to left and in, gets up to 7.2 miles per hour. I just can't stop capping, Jose. I can't shut it off. I can't turn it off. I can't stop thinking about everything. God, we went into overtime and I cashed that huge overtime in Colorado, Dallas. You think I'll nod off after that shit? Good God, no is the answer.
Yeah, I bet you were thrilled too, because I didn't watch the game, but that felt like a classic case of a bigger, heavier team leaning, and eventually in overtime they break.
Well, it was killing off that penalty was, breaking their hearts. But look, we're nowhere near the finish line, and I'm not. I'm not even close to saying, some of the things I'd like to say, which I've already said, but actually being right about them. I could so easily be wrong about them. So,
yeah, I'm a Dallas Stars, or excuse me, I'm a Colorado guy in that series too. So I'll be watching and observing. It'll be fun.
Louis Pepe in the house says fading Woo is silly. Says this guy Woo has gone about his business systematically. Spooner wanting to move on the over. Let's talk about Brian Woo. Brian Woo, 2-1, 3.12 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 22 strikeouts in 26 innings, 6 walks and 2 homers. Last start, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, 4 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-1 loss at the Jays. Going up against Garrett Crochet. Now, I would like you to answer what AM said here. And TJ's backed it up. So AM says Crochet pitched against the White Sox. The White Sox again. Toronto, Baltimore, Texas. Very likely fraudulent numbers for him so far. TJ says Crochet's an elite pitcher, but let's pump the brakes just a bit since he faced the White Sox twice and Baltimore. And Daniel Hernandez saying Yurfie in 11 straight in Seattle games. I didn't know that, Daniel. I didn't know that was happening.
Wow.
So Crochet, 6 innings, 4 hits, no one runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks, net 4-3 extra inning with victories coming off. The Mariners are starting to hit lefties, 227, 689 OPS. Red Sox are righties, 257, 37. Mariners bullpen, 3.64 ERA, 1.37 whip, being decent. Red Sox bullpen, 4.47 ERA, 1.27 whip, being decent. The Juice is Crochet, K's ladder, 8 and up. Mr. Heat on Boston, team total over 2.5 in the first 5. So there is interest from the cappers that we're rocking with in this over. Right now, the over is sitting at minus 103. It's come down from 8.5. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. The I can't say these names of books, unfortunately, but there's an offshore that I was offered the opportunity to work underneath the capper who is making all the lines and was running the sports book. He's a very, very good gambler, and he's done very, very well for this book. And I'm interested in still taking him up on the deal. The guy who runs the book is Canadian, even though it's out of Costa Rica. He's in Montreal, and I'm still very, very interested in taking them up on this deal. They have just an hour ago moved it to 8 from the 8.5. They were the last ones to do it. And this is at 8, heavily juiced to the over. Heavily. And I don't see any other books really doing that. So here is a real good gambler who's now forgetting his action. Now he's making millions running the book, who is opening up his arms to anybody on the under. I think it's a very, very important point here that's obviously caught my imagination. Let's get into the cash flow again. This is from Action, which we're in the process of changing. We have 71% of the tickets and 62% of cash on the over instead of the 90s that they usually give us. We have 78% of tickets, 75% cash on the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox here on the money line are now minus 168. They opened up at minus 171. Excuse me, I'll refresh this. They opened up minus 166, 5 cents of movement towards the Boston Red Sox. So first, talk Crochet and answer what the cappers are saying in the chat, and I'd be all ears.
Yeah, I think Garrett Crochet is going to win the Cy Young this year in the American League, if we're being honest. I understand you guys are saying it's the White Sox, sure, but I don't think the Orioles are in that class of the White Sox. I still think they're a very good hitting team. It's their starting pitching that's letting them down. It's not their hitting. But I really think he's the real deal. And, maybe biased Red Sox fan be damn. There's no restrictions. He's been paid. I really think he's Cy Young winner this year. If not number 1, he'll be in the top 3 for sure. I do like the under in this game. And God damn it, I keep saying if we're being honest. I'm sorry, Dougie Wise. But I like the Red Sox here. I don't want to, again, lay the juice per se. I don't like taking first 5 minus a halves either. I think that's all very sketchy indeed, especially in a low volatility game here. Under 8, I think will probably be a move here that I end up making, Jimmy. By the way, I am officially, as we speak, signing up for my Odds Logic free trial.
I like it. Yes, we are in the process of moving over there. King Ooh, I moved on the Senators and the Lightning and the draw in the Lightning Florida game. And King Ooh, if I could go back in time, I know that I said I would bet every overtime in Florida Tampa, so I'd stick to that. And I'd only be on the Senators. I'm really worried about Cirelli being out and no Bjorkstrand. I'm just worried. I think I'd much rather. I have got a smaller future on them to win the East. Well, it's a 400. It's 100 less than the others, but I would rather just watch. Spooner says that he is buying it at the 7.5 minus 125. Says Mariners Red Sox over. It says, did you look at the Orioles? Oh, it's talking about that spot. Okay, here we go. So you do not believe that Crochet's been shutting down teams that can't hit lefties?
I mean, he guess he has, but I just think he's good enough to shut down everyone. He is a top 5 pitcher in the American League. He is going to win the American League Cy Young this year. I think he is that good.
And your thoughts on Woo?
It's funny, Ryan Wu very close to being traded to the Boston Red Sox this year for Tristan Casas. Those reports came out because the Seattle Mariners leaked them. But I do think he's very good. And again, if they would have traded him for Tristan Casas, I would have been rip shit pissed off. But it shows that the Red Sox obviously value him very highly, and the Seattle Mariners value him ridiculously high if they wouldn't trade him for Tristan Casas. So I do expect him to have a good start. Like I said, I'm honestly, like I said, just trying to do my bullshit here for odds logic so I can get some under numbers and feel better about myself. I know you guys in the chat have already mentioned them, and shout out to you guys for dropping them in here. But yeah, I think I'm going to just move on an under in this game. And by the way, bullpen wise, Red Sox, Bernardino threw 28 pitches yesterday. That was it. The other guy was Winkowski, threw his arm out, but got the job done and saved the bullpen for today. Seattle Mariners wise here. Let me just control F real quick. Mariners here. Casey Legume, whatever his name is, 23 pitchers. Andre Munoz, 15, and Gabe Spear, 10. Munoz will probably be available. I like the under in this game.
So let me ask you this. And I guess I think I know the answer. You just say, look at the offense of the two baseball teams in the White Sox Twins game. Are you surprised that the market is pushing the under so heavy in White Sox Twins and not in Mariners Red Sox?
Yeah, I guess I am a little surprised by that, but we've seen those like early games go under an alarming rate so far here. God damn! Now I have to learn how to read a whole new like odd shit. And
Okay,
feel like
well, you're gonna have to keep this battle that you're having inside. You're gonna keep it inside.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's great stuff still. Troy says this is still a very, very low total in Boston. No, I hear all that. Going to be no move for me in Mariners, Red Sox. Let's move into the doubleheader. I was not comfortable doubling up on the Rockies-Royals game yesterday, Jose, and I was pretty thankful that it got wiped off the board.
You're like, thank God, yes.
Oh, TJ can explain these. You know what, TJ? Probably if you could send it to us like on X with everything listed and a little group talk, it would be great. AM says under on both games. Worst case, I should hit at least one, but I think I can win both. Spooner also saying that you can move the money and ticket percentage all the way to the left to make it easier. All right, let's go here. We're going to talk about both games of the double dip. We don't have the exact same pitching matchup as yesterday, as Raggins is starting game one. So let's talk about the weather in game one of the double header in Kansas City. We have it 76 Fahrenheit, feels like 74, 8.9 miles per hour to left field. It gets up to 9.8 miles per hour. The second game is at that 9.8 miles per hour. It follows suit right after. And then it stays that way for 2 hours until it gets down just to 8.9. It's always blowing out to left field. So it's always blowing out in a pitcher's park. Let's get into the line history of our first of the double dip. We have this total here at 8, a flat 8. It is juiced to the under at minus 111. This opened up at 9 at 4:45 in the morning, moved 8.5, and now to 8. So it's been a big move towards the under. Let's get to the money line here for this one. On the money line, we have the Kansas City Royals sitting at minus 274. They opened up at minus 190. This is a real move. This book waited to find out who was going to be on the bump. Opened this up at minus 190. This got up to minus 270. Good God, 270. Oh, I guess. Well, sorry, we've hit the high water. So we've had 84 cents of movement towards the Kansas City Royals. Well, I tell you that this makes me very concerned about Germán Marquez. And let me say again, thank God yesterday's action got wiped off the board. We thought he was going to have the bounce back performance against the Dodgers, and maybe he will. But the market's telling us that Cole Ragans is going to have the bounce back performance because he just got lit up and smoked at Detroit last start. 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, and 3 walks. The Rockies don't hit lefties at all. 207, 592 OPS. Royals for righties, 206, 581. Rockies bullpen has been better than we expected. 4.23 ERA, 1.49 whip. And Royals bullpen, 3.79 ERA, 1.37 whip. Take it away, Jose. Game 1 of the doubleheader. Once you've broken down game 1 of the doubleheader, I will ask you Mitch Lander's question in the chat about the Yankees making the playoffs. So don't worry about that right now. Let's stay focused on the doubleheader game 1, Rockies-Royals.
I didn't even notice Mitch Lander's damn question because I'm still trying to figure out fucking my head from my ass right now.
Yeah, do your best to stop paying attention to that. We need you focused here on the games, and you'll have all day and night not listening to Helga and studying odds logic. All right.
Well, and I have to be sure to be on my ass because I'm not getting charged $99 a month on the first. Got to be on my shit to that as well. But let's talk about it here. We've got an interesting game with Marquez and Ragans here. Admittedly, I was like, oh man, do I really want to back Marquez again here and move on it again? And I was like, okay, at least we get better plus money. But you said it yourself. This opened up at like minus 145. We're up to minus 275. And some places are getting it up to the minus 300 zone here as well. So I'll be interested to see if it goes all the way up that high. Will I be forced to bet the Rockies at minus 300? Yes. Will I like it? No. But I will be forced to bet them at that point. I just don't have it yet on my book being minus 300. Ragans is good. We all know this at this point now. Left-handed pitching versus the Rockies here. They are 26th in the league so far, full season, 56 weighted runs created plus. That's right down there with the White Sox, the Angels, the Twins, and the Orioles for being horrific against lefties right now. This month so far, they're 27th, 54. And that is a 200 plate appearances against lefties. And this is one of the better lefties in the league. So I'll stay off. And I'll watch, but if Marquez has a decent start and we're kicking ourselves for not being on Rockies plus a half or even Rockies first 5 plus 1, I mean, shit. I don't know. You might be able to get a minus 110 on that too. So no action.
It has hit 300. It has hit 300. I've got minus 300 here. Other people have minus 305. That's at 365. Billy saying it's at 300 at every book. Now, I'm not saying this to push you towards this. This doesn't have to be a black and white situation that you have yourself in. I will tell you though that Troy Torrance has 5 units on the Royals run line.
I could say some negative things about Troy Torrance and my friend Troy Torrance, but I'm not going to.
I find that impossible. And you've set it up. So here, hit us. I find it impossible.
Troy fucking earlier in the week said, fuck it, take out your mortgage. Royals double result plus 125. What could possibly go wrong? Troy,
that was a plus 125 spot, though.
We both lost our fucking ass on it, Troy. And that was a fucking minus 250 whatever fucking Royals team. They shouldn't be minus 300. They're not that good even against the Rockies. I love Troy to death, but that fucked me right in the face last time. Was it a fucking 0-0 first 5? Yeah, it was. It was annoying as shit. And they won the game. I'm sure they probably covered the run line.
They did not.
Fuck.
They won 4-3 in extra innings. I also was on the double result.
Yeah, that sucked. And this is why this is a Royals team that is going to play low-scoring games and bullshit you the whole time. So I personally can't imagine having 5 units on the Royals here when their fucking offense is horrific and will keep them in the game.
Extremely interesting.
What do you want me to do, Troy? They fucking don't score. 2-0 in the ninth inning for a fucking minus 300 is a joke. It's a fucking joke. You should be up 5-0, 10-0 if you're fucking betting these bullshit ass favorites.
All right. Okay. I like where Jose is right now. I think we got to keep him just where he is. I think it's perfect. Now, please answer Mitchell Landers when he asks you do you still think the Yankees don't make the playoffs?
I mean, the fucking Orioles are so bad that they're gonna fucking make the playoffs in the wild card. Yeah, Mitchell Landers, they'll be the wild card team, probably the first wild card, and they let fucking any Joe Smo in the fucking playoffs anymore. Jimmy, I forgot there was 3 wild cards as well. I was like, God damn, we fucking let anyone in here. It's ridiculous. Pisses me off too. But yeah, they're gonna make the fucking playoffs. The Blue Jays could make the damn playoffs for all we know. They let anyone in this fucking thing now. But yeah, they're not going to win the division.
So we have no action. Now, let's talk about this. So we've talked a lot about the cash cow situation. We know that Royals run line is a 5-unit play, a big one. He's also got Royals Angels money line and Rockies first 5 team total under. Rockies first 5 team total under, and Nicholas Earl says he loves this first 5 under 4.5. Royals are dead last in weighted runs created versus right-handed pitching this year. Rockies have 56 weighted runs created versus left-handed pitching. Both pitchers shove.
But by the way, the Angels, Troy, are in the same fucking boat. 2 days ago, they were minus 140 opener. The line moved 60 cents in their direction against these shitty-ass Pirates. The Pirates don't give a fuck. They beat their ass that day. They beat their ass again yesterday, and the fucking Angels were minus like 160 again. It's absurd.
What do you think of? Do we still trust Marquez here? You can pay for a 4.5. It's expensive. Problem is this opened up at a 5. It's just this move is happening too quickly here to the under. Do you have any interest in getting under it?
No, but I moved on. I guess I should have said this earlier. I'm on the under 8 officially in that game earlier. Under 8 minus 115 in Seattle Mariners or Seattle Boston.
And we do have a rebuttal from our Troy Torrance. All right, this is great stuff. This is great stuff.
I can't say that anymore, Troy, by the way. I'm 2 for 2 of teams winning the World Series when I say that now.
Okay. So do we think that this line has just gone too far towards the under here for us to continue to move on it in a first 5 situation? Have we given up on the idea that Marquez is going to throw a nice game here because of how fast
you know what? Moving? Fuck you, Troy. How about this, Troy? Fuck you and your fucking cash cow. I'm taking the stupid ass Rockies to beat this team.
Oh no!
Fucking take that, Troy. 250 plus 255 for me. We'll make it official. Unbelievable.
Oh no!
How are this team? How is it minus 300? Why are the Angels minus 150 again against the Pirates? It doesn't make sense. This just doesn't make sense.
So,
and I don't know why I'm so annoyed about this, but it's just stupid that they're getting 300.
And the first 3, I should take a quick look at the first 3 in game 1 of the double dip.
God,
it's a 2.5 minus 130
game. Fucking 10-1 now.
Well, yeah, Dougie was right. Snips is putting his balls on the table. Okay, so if you had a book that was offering you the first 3 under 2.5, would you be interested in betting it, Jose Bouquett?
First 3 under 2 and minus 140, I assume. I mean, I guess we'll just take the juice out of it for right now so I could actually feel comfortable about making the bet here.
Yeah.
Marquez a righty, correct? I'm just double checking there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think so. Yeah. I felt good enough about making that first 5 bet yesterday with Marquez. So I'll just roll. I'm riding with Marquez today, and I'm riding with this shitty ass bullpen too. What I should be doing, I should be taking the first 5 plus a half again and taking the money line, but I'm glutton for punishment today.
So Troy, I have a question, and I have a question for all of you guys here. And first off, Kong is right. He said it just means more after being circumcised, putting your balls on the table. And he's right. But can I, from you guys that are, bullish on the Royals, do you think Marquez is going to get through the first 3 innings, relatively unscathed? That was what I'd like to hear.
Troy's going to say he's going to give up 17 runs.
I don't think he is necessarily. I think. Well, that's what I'd like to hear.
Well, okay, Jimmy. By the way, real quick. I got wrist slapped yesterday by our friends at Anthem because we go too long. We go too long on our shows. Who would have thought? So we're gonna quickly just say goodbye to our Anthem viewers. Watch us on Pub Sports Radio at YouTube.com. Keep subscribing to Anthem, and shout out to you guys. We'll see you guys very soon here. All right, continue on.
Wow, that's interesting information. Anthem doesn't want us. Probably could have told me that off stage, so I don't despise them.
I know, but I had to close the show. It's we
don't even need to be on them. Let's not let them have us for an hour
of ads. We have
let's just not let them have us for an hour. If it's too long for them, we're fine right here. How about that? Let's move on to the second double header here. Now I'm pissed off. Colorado Rockies game 2 too long. Why are we over there?
They make us money, hopefully. We'll see.
Okay. Well, I have my ski mask ready. Anytime we can find them. How about that? Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. God, it pisses me off. They told me that shit off stage. What the fuck are we? Why that? Let's go back to our regular time slot then.
No, we have the show before. It's an hour and a half is the max for them apparently. So we already did the thing. We're done.
We're not done. This is coming back. This is just getting started.
Okay.
Fuck skunts. All right, let's talk about Chase Dollander. Now I'm pissed off. Jesus. Could have told me this off stage. Ugh. Fuck.
Yes, Nuke, the can of worms open. We can't put the tube back in the toothpaste now.
Oh my God. Oof. Change my whole fucking schedule around for a show that we're too long for. That's what we've done?
No, we didn't change it for them. Anthem is not who we changed it for.
God, that fucking pisses me off. You could have told me that shit off stage.
Well, we had to cut somehow.
Oh, let's cut. Let's give them 1 minute. Let's just cut. Okay, fuck. I'll take. God. Oh, I'm gonna take a second. I'm pissed off. You can
go ahead. I will break down Chase Dollander and Michael Lorenzen then. Chase Dollander, highly thought of prospect, the most highly thought of prospect in the Rockies pitching system left here, and there's not many of them for you guys here. He's made 3 starts, 4 innings, 9 hits, 9 runs in his last one against the Washington Nationals here. At the Padres, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs before then. Respectable start then. And at the A's, at home for the A's, his debut, 4 earned runs there. Has a long bomb problem there. 4 home runs, 2 home runs, 2 home runs in his 3 starts there. So not the guy that I want to back right now. Maybe in Kauffman here where the long ball doesn't apparently go and we're just going for doubles, but we shall see how it goes for him there. Lorenzen on the other side facing Dollander. Very much a journeyman that we've talked about for decades, it seems like now. 2 home runs allowed in his 4 starts, so it's a good sign. 3 of these on the road at Detroit, former team, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. At Cleveland, 5 2/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. A home run allowed there, 4 Ks, and 1 walk for Lorenzen here. Now, again, back to the splits here. Rockies, righties, 75 weighted runs created plus. Third to last, there in the league for the month. Same thing for the for the Royals on their side as well. Bad against righties. Not a game I will be moving on because I'd like to watch the first game of this doubleheader. And I will pray to the gods that I can finally get one up on Troy. But the cash cow, as we all know, is a cash cow machine. So we'll see how that goes for me. But not going to move on this game for me personally here. I want to watch game one, see how it operates. Market movements in this game. We have gone, let me refresh my odds sheet here real quick to make sure I have the latest moves. We've gone from minus 190 to at where we used to play poker at. It's gone down 2 cents to minus 188. So not much movement there. Obviously, probably indicative of them wanting to see the first game. Heritage opened up minus 183 down to up to minus 188. And total here went from a juiced, let me see here, a juiced over 8.5 and 2 nines on the board right now, but still a lot of juice 8.5s here as well. So no action here for me in this game. I want to watch the first game, see how it works out. And maybe I can be praying for a Rockies win here, and then the Royals come in for the split. But no action for me so far. Jimmy, anything for you?
I don't know what we do with Chase Dollander here. I mean, he's allowed 8 home runs in 3 starts. My first thought is this is a 23-year-old kid who should probably not be pitching in Major League Baseball. 3 starts under his belt, 9th overall pick in the 2023 draft. I know there's a few of you out there that think a top pick in the draft is ass. I'm sure you think that Chase Dollander is going to have a career for a couple months and end up fucking cleaning schmegma off of fucking thoroughbreds.
Sure.
But he's a pitcher who in the PCL, he came up high A and then to double A last year, and he was so dominant. He had a year at Tennessee in 2022 when he went 10-0. I mean, there's a reason why the 23-year-old is up here. Look, it's not working in Major League Baseball right now, but I wouldn't surprise me in the second game of a doubleheader, especially if Troy is right and the Royals destroy Marquez and have a huge game. It wouldn't surprise me if Dollander can quiet these bats up, but I don't want to play God this is probably the right situation for him. And when you go through Dollander's starts, he went to San Diego and had a really strong start. For whatever reason, these home starts haven't been very good. So if the first game skyrockets over, I'm going to expect the first few innings to be okay for Chase. And the question then is Lorenzen. In fact, I wouldn't despise a first 3 plus a half if the Royals dominate game 1. So I'll be looking at that. TJ has moved on the Rockies' first 5+1 in game 1, and it is 1-0 White Sox. Says AM 1-0 White Sox in the first one. So look, I think that we need to keep studying Chase Dollander and some of these, the highest prospects in the world should probably be given more opportunity than 2/3 of an inning, as you guys gave Emerson Hancock. True Teller moving on the Twinkies live. So we have 1-0 there in the middle of the second. So we're heading into the bottom of the second there. So live totals at 7.5. Okay, let's roll on. Let's roll on to the next spot on the card. 3:45 p.m. Eastern with the Milwaukee Brewers at San Francisco Giants, Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. I was quite upset that I did not handle Webb and Peralta properly yesterday. Very, very, very irritating. Look, I didn't need to take that first 3 under 1.5 at plus 100, but why would Peralta get? I didn't handle it right. Knowing that there was going to be a fine pitching performance, it was a mistake. 53 Fahrenheit feels like 49, 8 miles per hour out to center, from 8 to 9.8 miles per hour. Again, don't put too much into that. It's not that big of a deal. with the swirling winds and then the huge deep part of the ballpark. We have Tobias Myers, who was so good last year. He's been dealing with this oblique injury, and I want to bring up his numbers from last year. I have his numbers from AAA Nashville. He had 3 rehab start assignment. And on Friday, he finished it off, and he looked very good. 5 scoreless. He allowed 2 hits in the walk, struck out 5, 76 pitches. So I think he's close to this. I think he's close to having like a regular start here. This is a pitcher who was drafted out of high school way back in 2016. He finally got to the show last year, and he looked good. I thought he looked good. I think he's a pitcher that can be trusted. He went 9-6 last year with a 3 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. I thought he showed a lot of potential, and I can understand why he's being backed. The question is more about Landon Roop. He looks like he might be an elite pitcher for the Giants, and his only issue thus far in the majors, and it's only 4 starts, is that righties are getting to him, but not at an alarming number. This was a 12th round pick out of university. Nobody really thought that he would make it, Landon Roop would make it this quickly, really. I know he's 26, but last year he was out of the bullpen. This year he's got the opportunity to start. Last year out of the bullpen, he looked very strong. I think he's a really good pitcher. I think that we have 2 really strong young pitchers pitching today. Roop's last start was a 3-2 win at the Angels. He went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 9 Ks, and 1 walk. Lefties have no power against them. Again, the sample size is small, but the righties have power against them. I don't want to put too much emphasis into that. Brewers are hitting righties. Giants are hitting righties. The Brewers bullpen's going to get better. Right now it's 5.07 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Jerry Davis says auto fade returning pitchers to the show, plus Roop is a dog. Interesting. So let's pull up the line history here for this one. And let me move over to the full game. Apologies there. So we have the wind blowing out, but it's cold, and I don't think it's that important. From a line history standpoint, we have the total here at 7.5. It's minus 113 to the under. It hasn't moved off of the number. Very curious to hear what Odds Logic has for cash flow on this total. From a money line standpoint, the Giants are minus 153. They opened up at minus 136. We've had 17 cents of movement towards Roop, who I think he's going to be very good. And then when we get the cash flow here at Action, we have 69% of tickets, 72% of cash on the Giants. And then on the total here, we have 88% of tickets, 86% of cash on the over. Take it away for us here, Jose. Brewers, Giants, Oracle Park in San Francisco, California.
Yeah, I was a big Tobias Myers guy last year. I feel kind of the same way about fading a pitcher coming up. I don't want to fade them. I just don't want to back them, really. I think they can still I think they are still capable of a very good start, obviously. By the way, Garrett Crochet trips and balks. So guy on second, no outs here to start the inning. Very good. But I kind of agree. Landon Roop is one of those young pitchers that will probably be slandered and is better than what he has shown. I mean, he's thrown pretty well so far. 7 innings, 2 earned runs against the Angels. Really good start there. 5 innings, 4 earned runs against the Phillies. Not good. And by the way, 3 of these 4 starts have been on the road. His 1 home start was 6 innings, 1 earned run against Cincinnati here. We all know how offensive suppressing this park is. So I expect him to have a pretty decent start. I do think minus 145 is a little inflated, though. So I stay off this game. And if this was like Tobias Myers' second or third start, I might even be on the under in this game.
I'm not that concerned that I guess okay, so is the concern okay, now I'm starting to see the concern. The concern is that he was great last year. I mean, let's go over his game log in 2024. Didn't he have that horrific first start? And then he was excellent for the rest of the year, or horrific. Let me just grab him right now because I feel like that's what I remember from Raups.
You're talking Land. I thought you were
Oh,
talking
sorry,
about
Myers.
Tobias
Sorry,
Myers.
Myers. Sorry, my bad.
Myers, his first 5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 3 innings, 4 earned runs were his first 3. The most he gave up all year was 5, actually, which is kind of incredible to see. That was against the White Sox and like his 4th start.
Or his 7th start.
Yeah, it was in the first month. 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. He gave up 9 earned runs in his first 13 innings, and then he was very good. So I guess the concern is that he might be a little, fat and happy and expecting.
I was gonna say I just kind of want him. Yeah, the first start. Maybe, like you say, fat, happy, thinks he's very good, comes in there, gets smacked, and then gets back to his bullshit from being good. But I just want to see him get activated, get back into like the majors, back in that environment against major league pitchers or against major league hitters, and doing his thing again. So that's why he's a back pitcher for me, but just not in the first time.
Yeah. No, I get that too, and it's a bit of a different situation now that he was, I thought, so good last year. I think Root pitches well. Dougie White says Sharp's on the Brewers. I don't know why the markets are disrespecting them then, because there's a 17-cent move. At the start of the show, you could have said that, but I don't know if you say it now.
And interesting, according to odds, 75% of the bets on the over, but 75% of the money is on the over, but 64% of the tickets are on the under. So big bets on this over, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna need more time here because I'm interested in Root, but all right, let's roll on. Next up, we have 6:45 p.m. Eastern action with the Baltimore Orioles, 9-14, 4-8 on the road at the Washington Nationals, 11-13, 7-4 at home. And Dougie Wise sees 18% of tickets, 37% cash on the Brewers. I have 31-28. So if the line wasn't moving, I would say, yeah, it looks like the Brewers would be a good spot. But we've had that 17 cents of movement in the last 2 hours, so I question it. AM's on the Orioles Nationals over 8.5. And I've still got to decide if I'm moving on this first 3 under 2.5 in that first game of the double dip. So I'm gonna have to I'll make this decision here while Jose is on. Troy Torrance wants the Orioles again here. So it's a tricky thing to back. So also we have Cade Povich right now, who is getting destroyed by righties. They're hitting 400 with a 1.086 OPS. So the question really is, do the Nats have the right-handed bats that can get to Cade Povich? And how questionable is he going to be moving forward? Because he's a highly thought of young pitcher as well. Mackenzie Gore has looked very strong. He's looked strong for a while. His splits are completely in check. A 3.41 ERA, 1.21 whip, coming off a quality performance in the thin air of Colorado. Now, it wasn't warm, but still was in the thin air. Orioles' numbers against lefties are atrocious. 168, 484 OPS. But the Nats' numbers against lefties are bad. 229, 633 OPS. Nats' bullpen is bad. And the Orioles' bullpen, 4.60 ERA, 1.57 whip. So let's take a quick look at the weather in Washington. We've already heard Bobano on the Washington Nationals, and James Wood over 1.5 bases is stacks number 1 for our guy Justin McKelvey. This will be soothing music for me. This is what I need. 3 days of no sleep. Just need think about money.
Stacks, 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 stacks. Stacks, 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 stacks.
Oldie says, who is that faded the Rockies every game last year? It is our friend Steve G. Who
Rock
faded
Sox
the Rockies
fade
last year with great success, and he's added the Sox into it this year. So let's go over the line history here for this one. We have Oh God, everything's pissing me off right now. Oh man, Carter's gonna have to stop that, whatever he's doing. Minus 107 to minus 114 is the money line here from a total standpoint. Here we have an 8.5 minus 118 to the over. This opened up at 9. It wasn't a real 9. It was minus 118 to the under. So there's no difference here whether you get you can have a juiced under at 9 or a juiced over at 8.5. Basically, this total has not been moving, not at all. So, I mean, neither of these teams hit lefties. I mean, why wouldn't they be able to deliver here? Taking a quick look at the Action Network, we have 60% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the Washington Nationals. So let's take a look at the money line here for this one. Then on the money line, we did that minus 107 to minus 114. And then when we get to the total here, we have 90% of the tickets, 91% of cash on the over. We have a 3-run bomb here.
It was 2. It was just a double.
2-run,
Wasn't a home run.
2-run bomb here. I got to talk to my son in a very cool, calm manner. Okay, it stopped right now. Maybe I won't have to. Take it away for us here, Jose. And first off, can you answer whether the Nats have the right-handed bats to get to Cade Povich?
It's a great question here. Expected lineup so far, and yeah, it's expected because there's none officially in there for him yet. But Ahmed Rosario, not good. Dylan Cruz has been fine. Jacob Young, not good. The switch hitters, Keibert Ruiz, Josh Bell, and Nazem Nunez. Be honest, there's not many people that can seemingly hurt Cade Povich in that aspect. By the way, of course, Crochet gets out of the inning there, so only 2-0. Consider live betting the under now if you people are out there. But it does seem like this could be a cushy spot for Cade Povich, but I just, as Bobano said earlier in the show, I do not think it is wise right now to bet the Orioles because of their starting rotation has been as bad as it has been all year. I get it. The Cade Povich, a young pitcher, a good pitcher that hopefully can develop here. But unfortunately, the Orioles have not shown any ability to develop the Oriole pitching. So I can't get on. It'd be Nationals or pass for me. And the Nationals bullpen showed you why they should not be trusted. And they made that game yesterday a close one when the Nationals should have won that game like 4-1. So you're muted, unfortunately, Jimmy.
Let's just take a quick look at the 4 lineups that Cade Povich has faced, because he's going up against a lineup that he should be able to mow down. So let's just go over to go against. Oh God, hit the lefties here, and let's get the numbers up because why wouldn't this be a live over and a first 3 under, and I guess you'd say, well, the answer is because of Cade Povich, not because of Mackenzie Gore. And if that's the underwhelming feeling, then why wouldn't we back first 5 Nats? And I know Bobano has moved on them full game, but why wouldn't we move first 5? So let's just quickly go over to.
That's how I would move on it. I agree with that.
I think this makes sense. So his first start was against the Red Sox. Red Sox rating 238. 681 OPS, not very good. Then he faced the Royals. The Royals have also struggled. 238, 626 OPS. So they've struggled. Then he faced the Jays, and the Jays are hitting lefties hard. 277, 806 OPS. That was a start where he didn't pitch poorly. And then he faced the Cincinnati Reds, who are hitting 188 with a 646. He can't be trusted. The first 3 can't be trusted. These guys can't be trusted. Povich can't be trusted. This has got to be Mackenzie Gore shutting down the Orioles against lefties, first 5. And then you have to ask yourself, well, what should the money difference be first 5 in full game? Because it didn't make sense with the pitchers on the mound in Seattle, Boston, that that wouldn't be moving at all to the under, but Smith and Paddock was moving to the under. That was confusing. So I would like to see a 20-cent difference at least here. Now it'll be less than 20. I'm talking about a public book, like 365. So we have a 15-cent difference, which also means that you'd have to take them, first half minus a half, unless you want to eat the vig here. So that's what I'm going to do. Great work, BJ, my man. It was too easy. I mean, we were fortunate with Jimmy Buckets being out of that game pretty early, but it was beautiful and helped very, very much. So I got that copied and pasted. So that I think that needs to be bet, and I imagine, Jose, that it should be bet here soon. That this market will be moving towards them. And let's just see here. Wow, this is way more expensive at other books. Will Hill, this is minus 150. 365, it's minus 135.
Wow.
Why would 365 be giving us a gift like that? Why would they be 15 cents cheaper than Will Hill? But not all books. I'm looking at offshore right now. It's minus 130. I think this needs to be bet right now, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bet the Nats first 5, and then I've got to figure out exactly what I'm going to do on this
Jesus.
first 3 here in Colorado, Kansas City.
You have minus 130, right?
135.
Yeah, I have minus 140. Good Lord.
It's not so bad. Spooner says I have terrible ROI when 365 is the best line, but it's not fully the best line. Yeah, Joseph, that's full game, my man. It's not fully the best line because there's offshores at minus 130. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do both of those things here. But I don't really want to deal with the you know what? I think I'm only going to take that first 3 under 2.5. Gorky is going to be moving here on Tobias Myers and the Brewers. I've got time to think about this Nat spot. Is there anything fishy about it? Like what would keep you off this, Jose?
The fact that Troy Torrance says at some point the Orioles are going to get right against lefties. I think this lineup is indeed good enough to not be the worst team against lefties in baseball. It probably will be much, much better middle of the tier. But it's crazy how bad their numbers have been. I mean, full season, 47, dead last in weighted runs created plus. Last month, 23 weighted runs created plus and 192 plate appearances. And I like Mackenzie Gore. So
Mackenzie Gore has 45 strikeouts in 29 innings. If you're going to get right, wouldn't you want to get right against?
Apparently, Garrett Crochet. But yeah, I think the Nationals. I think the Nationals are such a tough matchup for teams because they just keep throwing these lefties at you, and if you can't hit lefties, good fucking luck because they've got Mackenzie Gore, they've got Mitchell Parker, and then they'll fuck you up with those two guys. So. Minus 140 is the only thing that's keeping me off of it, personally.
Okay, I'm going to make this move here. There's a Deacon Mike in the house.
Jesus. 2-1. So 3 already in that fucking game.
Jose, I'm going to move on the... God, maybe I shouldn't. If I'm thinking about it this long, that first 3 under 2.5, it starts in 15 minutes. I don't need to move on the Nats right now. I can sit and wait on that. But I imagine that if I want to move on them first 5 money line, which I think I should. Cade Povich has gone up against some weak lefty lineups. And then the question is, again, back to Herman Marquez, Cole Ragans.
I'm moving on the Red Sox live right now, full game minus 112 for those people keeping track in the back.
All right. Well, I'm going to get this off my screen. I don't need it. I think that I'm going to move on the first 3 under 2.5 with Ragans and Marquez. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to make these bets now. I mean, I just don't see how this is going to be minus 135 when the show's over. I think it needs to be bet now. And I'm going to do that. So, Jose, could you set up this next spot here? We don't use those words, Vincent. See that word, it makes me not want to bet it. We have Cameron McGinsky going up against Tyler Anderson. And the first 5 on the Angels was deemed the co-best bet on the board here by our friend TJ. So set us up here on Pirates Angels, my friend.
Well, fucking Troy loves the Angels too because he put them in that parlay with the Royals here. And I've watched this series, especially I've watched and just noticed from an odds standpoint, the Angels just simply cannot be trusted as a big favorite. Like I cannot watch this Angels team and see them at minus 140, minus 150, minus 100, 200, excuse me, and just sit there and be like, what the fuck? Like, it's just crazy. Now, Cameron Blazinski is not a pitcher that I am looking to back on a Thursday afternoon and feel good about it, you know? It's kind of frustrating to see that, again,
Can I set you up for something too in this one that will, because I want to get this bet in, and so I'm going to need at least 90 seconds or 2 minutes.
Please.
McGinsky is letting lefties hit 395 with a 1.063 whip. Tyler Anderson, who's been so good this year, doesn't face many lefties. But lefties have historically hit him a little bit harder than righties. This year, lefties are hitting 350 with a 1.309 OPS. Now, very tiny sample size. But are there enough left-handed bats in the Pirates and Angels to...
The answer is no on either side. There's no lefties on either side. Honestly, I'm looking at the expected lineups, and will they put more lefties in the lineup, hopefully, to make this look better? Sure, but I'm going to use this for right now. The only lefties that the Pirates have, Brian Reynolds, switch hitter, pretty good. O'Neal Cruz, good. And Emmanuel Valdez, only good at hitting. That's it. Only lefties they have. The Angels, same thing. Luis Rengifo, fine. Logan, Nate Shawnoel, what's his name? I keep calling him Logan for Nolan. There we go. Nolan Shawnoel, lefty. That's it. 2 lefties in the Angels lineup. And I don't understand it. You know, again, this is just the expected lineup for Roberto Wire. Maybe they'll put in more, sure. But I mean, you just said it yourself. I'll just echo it one more time here. It splits here for our guy, Cameron, to start this season. Lefties, 395, 9 earned runs on a home run against them, 17 hits, 7 doubles. Righties, he's hitting 290, which ain't much better, but I mean, Jesus. So I'm not on the Cameron Mlazinski bandwagon. I'd like to see him actually pitch well before I back him here. And at least with Anderson, you have a pitcher that's a older guy, a veteran that can navigate his way through a Pirates lineup that is not good. You know, Key Brian Hayes, Reynolds, Joey Bart, Andrew McCutcheon, O'Neal Cruz is not going to make you lose sleep, unlike the Garcia method, which it might indeed make you lose sleep. Win or loss. Win or loss. So I'm off of this game. Market's in this game. Let me see if I can't fucking read the odds logics thing and actually read it correctly. Those who have it, let me know if I'm reading it right. 81% of the tickets are on the under here, Jimmy. 53% of the money on the under here as well. Again, people in the fucking chat, let me know if I'm actually reading this correctly here. So, I ultimately have not much to say about this game. I don't want to bet the Angels as a big favorite on Action Network. 74% of the bets and money are on them as well. And market moves in this game. Has the line moved a lot here? It's gone from minus 140 to minus 150. So 7 cents of movement from minus 143. I should be more specific, to minus 150, but still not enough for me here. Total as well, 9. Juice to the under has moved to the over at some places. Heritage is even showing an 8.5 here, actually. So very interesting. I don't want anything to do with this game, though.
Okay, well, I have moved on the. This got so expensive. Honestly, how close are we to catching the first three in White Sox Twins under 2.5?
2.5 you have. It's 1-0, bottom of the third. I'm pulling up the game right now so I can give you the most accurate thing, but it seems like there was 2 outs here. And yes, you already ended the third 1-0. Congratulations.
Because I really struggle to believe that this is going to work long term. Right now, my numbers are like ridiculous on first 3 unders, but I truly feel that this is too much vig and too much juice. And what's happening now is I'm getting comfortable with it because I just bet Colorado KC first 3 under 2.5 at -130 and Nationals first 5 at -135. And I really feel it's hard to believe that this is going to work here. Let's talk about Tyler Anderson very quickly. We only have 2 games left before we get into NBA. We got our guy Darryl Rice ready to rock here in NBA. Tyler Anderson is being excellent. He's got consecutive home starts. You have McGinsky feeling like a fraud around, Skeens and that the young pitchers and that he barely made the team, and I think he's uncomfortable right now. He did not look good in his last home start. He's not looked good at all. So this first 5 line, let's just go over these lines here quickly. And I know you did that, but I just want to talk about the money line here on the first 5. I know that TJ got a -130. Right now, the best of all these books, God, it's -140 or -145. Will Hill's up to -163. Why wouldn't Tyler Anderson pitch good enough to comfortably win a first 5? Pirates rating 209, 579 OPS, first lefties. We know that the Pirates bullpens look very good and Angels bullpens look very bad. So why are we not on the first 5 -0.5 with Tyler Anderson against McGinsky? Is it because it's too easy?
What did your first 5.5 -0.5 was? What's your number on that?
I'm not sure. I'm trying not to have too many pages.
I generally don't like laying the halves with shitty teams like the Angels there. That's my main reason of taking them. And Anderson, by the way, back-to-back shutout performances, 6 innings shut against the Giants, 5 2/3 shut against the Astros.
Yeah, I mean, he's pitching very well right now, and the Pirates are barely above the Orioles against lefties.
Yeah, I just don't trust, what is it, almost 9+ innings of shutout ball. Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to catch try to catch the falling knife, whatever, the opposite of time the shitty start like I have with fucking Crochet now.
Okay, I can figure that out later. I've moved on the next 2 spots on the board. But yes, the first 3s are hitting very, very well.
It's only 1 loss?
No. I believe I'm 11-2 in my last 13. But I could bring the full numbers tomorrow here. Deacon Mike says Pittsburgh's had 12 games scoring over 3.5 this season. AM is on the under 8.5. This game was a fluke, and I think game 2 is closer to how these games should play out. Thank you, TJ. TJ sent me very early that he was on the 4.5, and I had many hours to look at that and agree with him. Okay, so we'll move past this. I'll figure that out. I think it's. What do you think, Jose? Long term, betting these first 5s at -135 on the money line or -140 on the money line, more than -130, or taking them -0.5 at -105.
That's a great question. It's it's one of those classic gambler questions. I feel eat the juice and feel more passé for less juice, and hopefully in the long run you're cashing more. Honestly, I think less juice and less juice personally. I don't love it, but I think that taking the even money, will think you get more money at the end.
I don't think so, but again, that's from studying Pete. and watching Pete's long-term success with heavier juiced lines. Okay, it's not going well. Not going well here for Snips. Let's roll on. Let's roll on. And that's what I'm saying, TJ, is from studying Pete over long term. I mean, Pete right now.
You're right about that.
Pete right now with the VIG that he has been delivering. Look at this. So let's just go to Pistol Pete Loshak. His average line's minus 122. I mean, we've never had close to that before, and he's got 11.2% ROI.
You say minus 122, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about that. Pete does the high juice really well. Not many people can.
No, it's difficult. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us here, 9:40 p.m. Eastern, 2 games before NBA. We have the Tampa Bay Rays 10-14, 1-4 on the road to the Arizona Diamondbacks 14-10, 7-5 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We know that the roof will be open. We've checked that out back-to-back days. It's going to be open until Sunday. Weather-wise here, it is nicer offensive weather in Anaheim. But here in Arizona, 87 feels like 81, 2.7 miles per hour left to right. Then it becomes in after an hour, but it's just 2.7, so nothing alarming here. We have Drew Rasmussen versus Corbin Burns. Rasmussen has been spectacular this year. Let's go over to the full game here. So here we go. So full game money line for Tampa Bay's at plus 118. That's where they opened up at plus 118. We already heard from our guy, Ron Crawford, and I'm going to go and just confirm that so I don't screw this up. Ron Crawford is on Arizona. The play of the day for Mr. Ron Crawford is the Arizona Diamondbacks. And shout out to our guy, Ronnie Crawford. Ron Crawford! From a total standpoint, we have an 8.5. It's minus 113 to the under. I've seen some books that have moved it to 8. This opened up at 8, and within 36 minutes, this was a 7.5. It lasted at 7.5 for an hour and 45 minutes. It got up to 8, went back to 7.5, and again, it was at 7.5. For 7 hours this time. Then 8 and 8.5. So the public has come in and driven this one towards the over, which I think is a surprise. We have here, 84% of tickets, 76% of cash on the over. And then on the money line, we have 61% of tickets, 56% cash on the Diamondbacks. I generally do not want to, anytime there's U-shaped movement, I think it's almost laziness, though, where it's like, oh, this is just confusing or whatever. So I don't want to be lazy here. Rasmussen's been spectacular, coming off 1-0 loss at home versus the Yankees, 5 2/3, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 3 walks. He's a 0.82 whip, 0.87 ERA. I know we're only 20 2/3 in, but look at that K to walk ratio, 22-5, and no home runs allowed. Corbin Burns' last start was so good. Remember, the wind was blowing out heavy. Everybody was on overs. They all got there because it was a 13-11 final score, but not because of Corbin Burns. 6 innings and 2 earned runs. He'd been bad all season long, and now he's in business. Nice job, JW, cashing that Seattle team total over. Rays versus righties, 275, 761. Diamondbacks versus righties, 255, 828. Both bullpens have been very good, although we did not see that yesterday. We saw weak bullpens. AM says 2 elite hitting teams versus right-handed pitchers. I'll take my chances. I hear that. They're hitting the ball very well. Both are top 5. Diamondbacks are number 1 in Major League Baseball against righties. Jose, take it away. Rays, Diamondbacks.
This game was like the game that you look at the pitching matchup and you automatically think under. That's why I'm surprised that the public is betting the over here. Like you saying, odds logic here has 80% of the tickets and 76% of the money on the under. I mean, I get it. I understand completely why. I'd probably be leaning under too. It just feels like the obvious underplay that goes over here. Only reason why I'm not on it. Drew Rasmussen's dominated this year. Elbow surgeries be damned. Doesn't give a fuck. He pitches through all these things and pitches well. And Corbin Burns, I'm hoping that start, like you just said, is the one that gets him rolling here. But no action for me. Rays against righties. Where are they? 6th. 117 weighted runs created plus. Now, weighted runs created plus is ballpark factored. So I could see why you guys might be a little concerned because they play in a very offensive ballpark at times, but they've been hitting them no matter what. So no action here for me.
Yeah, I'm going to need more time. We think Corbin Burns, that start at Wrigley Field was the start of him pitching better. And
it definitely could be, yeah.
We'll continue to see that. Okay, I'm going to have to study that more. All right, Spooner says stadium gets a huge offensive boost with the roof open. Final game on the card, we head to Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, California. On the MLB card, we got Derl ready to rock with us in NBA. 63 Fahrenheit, feels like 57, 9.8 miles per hour to left center. Stays at 9.8 miles per hour. Offensive weather in an offensive ballpark. We have Jacob deGrom. We talk about, a sign that a pitcher is ready to go. I feel like we got that from deGrom in his last start. Shut down the Dodgers. Now they lose, but 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, solo shot, 7 Ks, 1 walk against the Dodgers. And a right-handed pitcher against the Dodgers is impressive. JT Ginn, on the other hand, 1-1, 3.60 ERA, 10 innings, 13 Ks, 4 walks, 1 homer. We know he's a very highly thought of prospect. He's coming off a 5-3 loss at the Brewers, which wasn't his best. 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, but 7 Ks and 2 walks. The Rangers are not hitting righties, 219, 645 OPS. The A's are, but can deGrom slow that down? Rangers bullpen's been looked strong all year long. 3.68 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, while the A's bullpen is starting to pitch quite a bit better after a poor start and poor numbers here at Sutter Health Park. Let's take a look at the line history here. We have an 8.5 to get started, minus 119 to the over. This opened up at 9, but it wasn't a real 9. It was minus 117 to the under and plus 104 to the over. So, when it moved to 8.5 after 30 minutes, it was not a big deal. Bouncing around 8.5, 9, 8.5, 9, 8.5. Now, so basically, I would say we have no movement. Is I think the better way of looking at this here. And then again, we have Athletics at plus 118. They opened up at plus 130. So we've had a real legit move towards Ginn, a real legit move toward the A's. Take a look at the cash flow here. We have 73% of tickets, 76% of cash on the Texas Rangers. And then on the total here, we have 82% tickets, 79% cash on the over. Jose Bouquett, Rangers A's, take it away.
Yeah, it's an A spot for me. Odds logic here again. Hopefully, I'm reading this right. I believe there's 56% of the tickets and 92% of the money on the Rangers. And the line's still moving in the Oakland A's direction. Now, again, people that use odds logic, let me know if I'm reading that correctly, because our friends at Action also have 73% of the bets, 76% of the money on the Rangers here. And the line, again, moving towards the A's. It just seems like an A spot, and I'll be on the A's full game. I know deGrom is very good, obviously, but I'll roll my dice here. Even with the A's using Mason Miller and company yesterday, I still feel good about it. Mason Miller, by the way, threw 13 pitches. So I think he could be available again here today as well for him. So Oakland A's full game plus 119.
A's full game plus 119 here. AM on the under 8.5. I do trust these starters, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned enough to probably leave it alone, but I'll look at this a little longer afterwards. Conflicting thoughts here. Rooker over 1.5 bases for Justin. TJ says market screaming A's. I don't get it. AM says, why would the books hang an 8.5 if this was such a hitter's park?
Because at night, the Marine Layer.
And the great pitchers on the mound. So I think we can answer that quite comfortably. But I've got your action copied and pasted, AM. 2-0 now for the White Sox. Jose, Reginald Codes in the house. What up, Reginald? Jose, review your action, my friend, and we'll set up NBA.
Yes, my action here, Seattle, Boston, under 8, minus 115. Go fuck myself. Rockies live, plus 255 money line. Red Sox live money line, minus 112. Go fuck myself. and A's money line plus 119.
All right. I cashed the first 3 under 2.5 in White Sox Twins, but I've got very juiced action coming up. First 3 under 2.5 in Colorado, Kansas City. How's the first 6 minutes look there?
It is 2-2 or 2-2, 2 outs, a guy on third for the Rockies right now.
God, I feel like I should have just taken
Was
my
that 2.5? You move on? Sorry.
And it's 1-0 Rockies.
There you go.
1-0 Rockies.
I'm not going to fucking talk shit because I fucking bury myself into the ground with these stupid ass Red Sox bets. And if I fucking win these bets, I'm only going to be 1 and 2 up a half unit, and it doesn't fucking matter. So,
I didn't need to push that there. And then I have the Nats first 5. That's also very expensive. I put myself in a dangerous position here. Then I'm interested in the Angels first 5 minus a half. I have some interest in the Diamondbacks Rays first 3 and 2.5, but I probably leave that alone. And that is MLB for Thursday, April 24th here. And Wu has 4 strikeouts already. TJ feeling very good about the Rockies spot as well. And that is MLB for today. Jose, excellent work. We are racing today. Racing animal of your choice. You can, but no, wait, actually, has to be camels, horses, or greyhounds.
Sure.
Okay. See you soon, buddy.
See ya.
All right, it's time to get into the National Basketball Association. By the way, AM saying I decided not to play any NHL today. I think Game 4s will be much better bets. I agree. Game 2s and Game 4s are the best bets, but Game 3s are nice, as you deliver the stats with teams down 2 and coming home. Let's get into NBA. It's been 2 weeks since we've had our next guest rolling with us. He has been missed. Looking forward for him to see my NBA record, my new NBA record, my shiny ass NBA record. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California, our guy, Mr. Darryl Rice, to the show. Darryl, what's happening, man? How are you?
Yo, I am in my home, well, not home office, my mobile office right now. Happy to be back, man. I am happy to be talking ball. Playoff has been kind of sketchy for me. So I decided this week that I wasn't going to play props. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that I can get a little help with some props if you see them. But I decided to take your angle, Jimmy, and do some sides and totals, and that's what I did. So
Well,
playoffs have been good, man. But tell me about your record.
Well, take a look at it. It's right up there. It's I mean, I made about 35 units, 40 units in the last 2 weeks.
2
since we've
weeks?
seen each other. Yeah, I picked up
Okay.
about 7.5K. Maybe
Okay.
7.1 actually. I'm in the process of sending it all in. It was just overwhelmed with action. Operation Garcia was a huge, enormous success, and then I stopped. And then the question is, did I stop at the right time, which is something, that we'll be discussing here, because I planned on doing Game 2 as well, and I didn't. By the way, last night in Operation Garcia, it went 22 and 27, down 8.7 units.
So what is this Operation Garcia, man?
That's just all the player props unders. Like we did last year.
Okay.
And so I, it was very difficult to stop, and it was as difficult as anything, really, honestly, to stop betting them. And if I had have kept going for one more day, it would have worked. If I had to finished off Game 2s, like I said, it wouldn't have worked.
Okay.
But as I said, 22 and 27, down 8.7 units yesterday, and I wasn't on them. The Celtics game went 6 and 10, down 5 units. The Heat game went 6 and 11, down 6.8 units, and the Warriors game went 10 and 6 plus 3.1 units. But again, I'm off. So that's what's happened. It was glorious. It was Sunday. Sunday I made 17.1 units.
That's crazy.
Yeah, on 4 games. The Memphis game went 7-0.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it was.
What do you think you're just seeing the board a lot clearer right now?
No, not at all. I'm not even looking at the board. I don't even give a fuck about the board. I'm not even capping. I'm not even paying attention. I don't give a fuck. No. I threw in all those bets sitting with in the back seat with Ella and Carter. I was, hungover. We're not capping. You think this is capping? No, this is studying and listening and that stuff. But it's not capping.
Okay. Well,
now, since then, I'm winning. But still, I feel like I'm leaving money on the table. But winning success creates more success, and winning creates sharp decisions.
Jimmy, you do this. You say something like that. That's pretty phenomenal, and then you just start talking and keep talking as if what you just said there. How do you feel like you're leaving fucking money and you just came up $7K?
Oh, because all I wanted to be on yesterday was the Rockets, and then I parlayed Rockets double result and Celtics double result. Somehow, I'm one of the only cappers in the world that lost a bet on the Miami Heat yesterday because I only had them first half. And then I didn't take the Celtics team total over. Instead, I took the Celtics first quarter -3. So I end up 2-2 plus 0.96. Or no, not even plus 0.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like plus 0.7 units when I should have been 2-0 plus 2.94 units. I'm still making mistakes, and I want to stop making mistakes.
I feel you on the Rockets because I felt like I left it there too. But I mean, if it was kind of a paralysis by analysis, they didn't show you they were going to do anything in game 1. You saw how game 1 went, right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. But so maybe that with the coaching and the bounce back, theory that probably should have been all over Houston first half, right? But I got scared, especially when I saw how Golden State, when they were up by 20.5. Houston couldn't make anything. But now you didn't expect Jimmy Butler to go down, right? He didn't come back. And Pods is he's saying it's not the flu, but more food poisoning or whatever it is. So there's some issues over there. And that yesterday would have probably been the perfect time to smack him, the day before.
It was great. And then I added in the double result, parlayed that with Celtics. It was great. It was great. It's situational capping. I mean, this is
absolutely.
It's just perfect stuff. Now, obviously, Podziemski and Butler being down helped. I don't think that it's as easy tonight, and I can't wait to break down these 3 games, and and not having to tell you guys that I lost 8 units on the player props and I'm betting them again. It takes years off my life investing that much money on player props, and then it's very, very stressful, and it's worked, and that's great. We're going to track it again for the rest of the playoffs. I'm coming back in the NBA Finals. I do believe that when doing it perfectly, not only should you have every single player prop on the under, but you should also bet overtime. I do believe that. My friend hit 16-1, pregame overtime in that Clippers Nuggets game 1 after he lost in Operation Garcia. So I think there's it's still a work in progress, but let's get to work, my friend. Let's get to work.
Peace and love to everybody in the chat too. Forgot to mention y'all, man. And my saying, any day on this side of the grass, Jimmy, is a fucking
good day. It is a good day, but it's not for me. I just lost the Rockies first 3 under 2.5. I should not have, and then I just gave back the money that I got on the White Sox Twins. Just ugly capping there. Ugly capping.
Have you been betting Padres? You've been betting the Padres?
No, I've been betting against them probably too much on the road, even though they're the 500 team on the road. No, the Mets is the wagon at home. I haven't been taking enough of. I've got work
the best
to
record
do.
In the goddamn league, man.
But let's attack the board, my friend. Lucas Ryan says Knicks money line 3 units. Let's go. We have the East first round game 3 series tied at 1. New York Knicks 51-31 the regular season, and they were a good road team, 24-18 17. Pistons were not a good home team, which was a surprise. Just 22-19 at home this year. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. LJ from H-Town on Detroit first quarter says her first
There you go.
home playoff game since Obama was president. That building is going to be a rocking. Let's talk about the situation here. Let's start with the line history and the cash flow, and then go from there. God, I hate giving money back. And it, okay. We have the Detroit Pistons right now, +1 at +103 or +1.5, depending on how you look at it. 14 cents of movement to the New York Knicks. From a total scenario, we have a 216.5. It's -107 to the under. This opened up at 215.5 and it's come up to 216.5. And I like what Andrew G is, or sorry, what Lucas Ryan's doing, hammering the Knicks here. I like it, and I'm not sure if I can get there.
Yeah.
Again, the main thing that I was saying about the NBA playoffs, and I don't mean to, hit this home too hard or anything like that. I do think that this is so. Look, I don't give you guys trends, and there's things that I don't do. I cap my own way. We all cap differently. But this is the main thing that I really believe in. And it's so simple. And I'm going to say it one more time here. It is difficult to predict an event. It's much easier to predict a response to an event. And that will, in sports and in life, right? So let's talk. Knicks 6-4 the last 10 games of the regular season. They were playing at a slower pace, 29th pace in the league. They did that all year, 95.16 possessions a game. They shot 47.3 from the field and 37.4 from three. They're shooting the exact same from the field. They're not shooting quite as good from three. The interesting thing is, as we went over yesterday's pace of play, and it was astounding yesterday, just astounding. We don't have that here. This is the first playoff series other than the Grizzlies, Thunder, that had 108 possessions in the first game and then went down to 100 in the second game, which we will discuss. But remember, we talked yesterday, the Magic Celtics pace of play was down 8.75 units from Orlando's pace last 10 games. It was down 6.58 possessions units. 6.58 possessions from the Celtics pace of play. The Heat Cavs they were playing at a pace of play 11 units slower than the Heat's pace of play. Sorry, I keep saying units. 11 possessions slower than what the Heat played in the last 10 games. And the Cavs were playing 13 possessions a game slower in the playoffs. When we went to the Warriors-Cavs, the Warriors were playing 9 possessions slower in the beginning of the series than they were in the last 10 games of the regular season. And the Houston Rockets were playing 11.7 possessions slower. We don't have that here. So it's important to keep in mind, very important to keep in mind. This series was played faster. The Knicks were playing faster, 2.5 possessions faster than they were in the last 10 games of the regular season. A lot of that didn't have Brunson in the lineup. Detroit playing tiny bit slower than they were playing the regular season. They were 18th fastest in the last 10 games. And they're shooting the ball almost identically to what they were shooting in the last 10 games of the regular season. So let's take a look at, we've talked about the total going up to 216.5 from 215.5. I think that's clear. All these other totals we saw dropping. There's not a change in possessions. And then this point spread, we've seen a very slight move to the New York Knicks. And then when we get to the cash flow for these two spots here, we have, here we go. We have 54% of the tickets, 51% of the cash on the spread on the Pistons. On the money line, we have 50% of tickets, but 36% of the cash. And then on the total, we have 89% of tickets, 91% cash on the over, and we see it climbing. The Pistons even the series 194, and they targeted Brunson. Also it helped that Cat was a no-show. Cat had 10 points. He took 3 shots in the second half, and he took none in the fourth quarter. I think that Tibbs and players on that Knicks team have to stop that from happening, because we know that if Cat doesn't get someone in his ear, he'll do that from time to time. Brunson went for 37, and the Knicks had 81 field goal attempts. Brunson took a third of those field goals. He says he needs to do a better job of getting his teammates more involved. The Knicks had 15 assists in game 2. I think it's really easy here to say, well, this was a problem, this was a problem, this was a problem, and then can it be fixed? We did that with the Rockets Warriors. The Rockets dominated the offensive boards in game 1. They dominated the boards in general, and yet they only slightly or marginally won second chance points over the Warriors because they just shot so poorly. We knew that would change. Detroit had an 48-34 edge in rebounding. They had 12 offensive rebounds. Cat had 6 rebounds in 33 minutes. I've talked a lot about Cat's character, but you don't hear Ja saying, I've watched the tape game 2 by myself. We had 2 days to fix it and get ourselves right mentally and physically. Why does Ja not say that? Now, Cat did say that. Obviously, Cade's rolling 33 points. Jalen Duren, with Isaiah Stewart out, had 12 points, 13 boards, 2 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal. We know he is a gamer. The Pistons finally got a win in the playoffs. It was 15 straight playoff losses, and now they look to win back-to-back for the first time since Game 4 and 5 of the 2008 Eastern Conference semifinals against Orlando. Stewart still dealing with day-to-day knee inflammation. Take it away for us, Derl. Knicks Pistons.
Couple things in play here. I think the Knicks are the side. I think the Knicks are the better team. That's one thing I'll say, because things have to happen for Detroit to win. And that is, Cade has got to hit his PRA in the 40s, right? So he's got to give you 30 points. And Jalen Duren has to have a double-double. So he has to have the points on the boards. That's how I see that Detroit wins this game. I was talking with LJ earlier, and he is absolutely right. I believe you're going to hear the announcer in a booming arena yell out, Detroit, and everybody else is going to say basketball, and this is going to set the tone. I really do. I really think this is what we're in for as far as the first quarter, and Detroit comes out. I believe that's the best angle, because after that, I do believe that you'll see some different coaching from Tibbs. Now, if you had read a lot of talking heads, like essays and thoughts on the game itself, what's being said is Tibbs is still doing the same fucking thing. Even though he took a little sabbatical to really understand the game and know how to learn how to make adjustments, he still is doing the same damn thing. What those things are, they're not transferring the wins. And so because of that, I think people who look at Tibbs as a dinosaur is going to tell you that nothing's going to change here at all. And you have people who look at that point spread and are going to automatically bet Detroit at home because of the playoff drought, not having playoffs there since 2008. And they're just being, in a position to where it's a must-win game for them. I still think the Knicks are the better team, and I think Tibbs is a better coach. I do. So if I were to attack this game, I did make one play, but I parlayed it with another. And that was Josh Hart. It's a long shot here, but Josh Hart double-double. And so, but I did add that with another game later. But this is what I heard a lot of. I've heard a lot of Mitchell Robinson over his rebounds. I've heard a lot of Josh Hart over his assists. I've heard a lot of Jalen Duren double-double again. And I also think that there's no way in hell that Detroit can win this game if Cade doesn't go over 30 points. Like the game has to belong to Cade, and he has to be the one to take over. So I do believe the Knicks are the right side. I didn't pull the trigger on it at all, only because of the scenario in play here. And so right now it's just a bunch of leans for me. For me, it's probably me overthinking a lot. But for right now, I think those are the looks you can look at as far as the props. but I do believe the Knicks are on the right side. And I absolutely agree with LJ, which I'll probably make that official, would be Detroit first quarter. Get in, get out.
So my question is, obviously we had the event, game 2. The
Mhm.
Pistons punched back. I wasn't on it. I was not sure, as we haven't seen this young group in a playoff type situation, whether they had it into the punchback. Now they have a home game, and I'm supposed to believe that they can handle the pressure of the New York Knicks coming to town and all eyes on them.
You're saying all the right things.
We have now the Knicks are going to have a response, and Cat is going to have a response, and Jalen Brunson knows that if he plays, if he takes a third of the team's shots, or I don't even think taking a third, if this team has under 20 assists, they're going to lose. If they don't pass the ball around, get everybody in play, but they've
Knicks.
talked about that and seen it.
You're saying that if the Knicks have under 20 assists, they're going to lose.
Yes.
Okay. I would agree with that.
Well, I feel like the Knicks are going to punch back here, and then you take Pistons in game 4. The reason why I'm hesitant to bet this is only because if the Pistons win game 3, then we can take the Knicks in game 4. It feels like game 4s are so much easier, but the Knicks can make the adjustments.
So
Spenny says, typical playoff cat, soft ass baby bitch. He was in game 2. Is he going to be that in game 3?
No, I don't think so. So this is what I've heard this from. I think it was Kenny Smith who had said it on. This was years ago when it comes to basketball in the playoffs, and that is, of course, everybody knows the game slows down, but essentially, what coaches do is they capitalize on what they do best and just keep repeating that. And the other team is to expose what you don't do best or what you do worst and try to force you in those situations. So you've got the coaches, in order to try to win the game, are just trying to capitalize on the things they do best. And the other team is going to try to focus on the things you don't do best and do worst and make you do them. So game 1, everybody plays, right? And it's just mano a mano. We're going to see what we do best. Game 2, you're making the adjustments. And it's really the winning team is making sure they can execute what they've done well. And the losing team is making adjustments to where they were gotten beat. Game 3 is adjusting to the adjustments. Right? And so the Knicks are in that position where they have to adjust to those adjustments made in game 2. And I just think you see a better performance out of the Knicks. This is why I like the Knicks full game. But do I think that there's going to be a ton of energy in that building tonight in the first quarter? Absolutely. Well, I think that you see, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes way under in the first quarter as well. I wouldn't be surprised at that. It's not going to be running gun. I like the Knicks. I like what you're saying, Jimmy.
I'm very close. I'm very close to taking Knicks money line. I'm very, very close. I don't understand why. Look, I know that the Pistons have character and it's fun to finally have them back in meaningful basketball game. This was a team that went 22-19 at home. Now you could say, what was their home record with Cade in the lineup?
Right.
I don't have that, in front of me. So that would be something important. But
they're still young. Right? So this line is telling you the books want you to take the Pistons. They really do.
I'm very close to Knicks money line. Saturated says rebounding is the key. It sure is, and I expect Towns to play hard tonight. And I don't know why we would expect the Pistons to handle this pressure. I think that's a bit of a reach. Now again, I'm talking myself into a Knicks bet. Derl is using a heart double as part of his action.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Mackey moving the Knicks to -6.5.
Eesh. Okay.
I'm very close to being on Knicks money line now. Very, very close. Let's roll on to game 2 here. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, West first round, game 3. Oklahoma leading the series 2-0. Talk about mistakes that were made after Memphis lost, by 51.
51, yeah.
I took Memphis in the first half. And I don't know why. That's another part of me. I've been beating myself over that bet. Why I thought that they would show heart and character. I don't know why I would. So I gave you quotes from Cat. And look, I've said a lot of terrible things about Cat. But at least he's saying that he watched the tape by himself. And he has 2 days to fix it. At least he's saying the right things. Here, I don't know how you could get behind the Memphis Grizzlies. They've lost the 2 games by 70 points. I've stopped being a fan of Ja. I stopped a while ago, but I stopped sticking up for him too. I'm never going to stick up for him again. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have, move over. I'm on money line. On the spread, we have the Thunder -9.5 at -108. They opened up at 8.5. It's moved a point in their favor with a little bit of vig. On the total here, we have a 229 juice to the under -108. Opened up at 227, a 2-point move here. So we've seen it go from 227 to 229. So it's a move to the over. The 108 possessions a game in game 1, 100 possessions a game in game 2. It's slowed down. What hasn't changed is the poor shooting from the Grizzlies. Now, through the 2 games, they're shooting 38.6 from the field and 24.6% from 3. Memphis had the 4th fastest pace, and the Thunder had the 3rd fastest pace over the last 10 games of the regular season. And then we saw that in game 1, but we didn't see it in game 2. Mr. Heat says OKC or nothing here.
Yeah.
When we get to the cash flow then for this, so we've seen the total go up 2 points and a 1-point move towards the Thunder. We have 80% of tickets, 80% of cash on the over, and on the spread, we have 79% of tickets and 86% cash on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Saturated says the books have put the Grizz team total at 109.5. Do we really think the Thunder defense falls off that much?
No,
on the road.
Come on, Saturated. I love Saturated, man.
Yeah, he's
damn right.
Guy.
He's goddamn right. What?
So
they're okay.
Well, let's just let me set up a little bit more. The Thunder won the first 2 games by combined 70 points and shaded very little. 15 points in game 1. That was a season low. Then he went for 27 in game 2, but he went 10 of 29 from the field and 3 of 10 from 3. We had a lot of talk about Aaron Wiggins and how good he looked. 21 points. Jalen went for 20. Chet, 19 and 10 and 2 blocks. That was game 1. Game 2, Chet goes for 20, 11 and 5, and Williams has another 24 points. 34% shooting for Memphis in game 1, 24 turnovers. In game 2, the Memphis put up 17 points in the first quarter. They're just showing no heart. Oklahoma City finished with 16 offensive rebounds. Now, there was one Grizzly who showed heart in game 2, Jaren Jackson Jr. 26 points, 10 of 17 shooting. He bounced back from that 2 of 13 debacle in game 1. And Ja had 23. That was a single-digit deficit in the third quarter. And take it away. Take it away, Darryl. I'm all ears. Oklahoma City, Memphis.
You ready for this analysis?
I think so.
Oh, so where what do I do with my glasses? Are you ready for this analysis? Let's just make it simple. Give me OKC minus. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
You ready for this? Here's my analysis. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
It makes sense. Take it away.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of plays I like here. I took OKC at minus 9.5. I also did an alt line for plus 121 at OKC at minus 11.5. but I also took the Grizz at under team total minus 109.5. And saturated. Now, I don't jump on team totals as much, and you can look at the history of my betting where I don't do a lot of unders on team totals. But what is going to change to where you scored 99 points the second game, you scored 83 the first game, you're putting up 17 points in the first quarter. OKC has their way with you right now. Now, I was really quick because you know how I like first quarters to just why if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why not just go right back to OKC first quarter, right? This is when I get in. I guess I overthink things, and that is Memphis back at home? This is a desperation game. They got to come out on fire. They just have to. And then if you look at the lines for the game, it's kind of weird. Now, I don't know if things have changed, but this one seemed a little weird to me, which also had me step off of it. So when I looked at the lines, I got a 9.5, but when I looked at the lines earlier, it was 10.5 full game. Then it was 4.5 for the first half. And then it was 2 for the first quarter. And that's not usually how these are divvied up, if I'm right. Not unless I saw everything wrong. But that first half should have been at least 5.5, 6, right?
The first half is 3.5 now.
And the line is still at 9.5. Yeah. So what do you have late? So that still doesn't make any sense to me. That
makes perfect sense.
You'll usually cut it in half, but to me, if we're just looking at the game how I've usually seen it, if you've got a game at 9.5, then that first half number should at least be 4.5, 5, not 3.5.
Yeah, but I mean,
not 3.5 at all. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
of course.
And then that first quarter line. What I'm saying is, I think people are going to jump on the first quarter and jump on the first half, and Memphis is going to be able to win these bets. I think it's a little bait there, to be honest with you. I think Memphis wins this first quarter, and that first half kind of up for debate here. I'm just saying the lines, they don't look how they would usually look in my eyes when I look at first quarters and first halves with the spread that size.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm just thinking. Go ahead.
The books are telling us that the Grizz are live in first quarter and first half. That's what they're putting it on a silver platter.
Right.
Memphis opened up at the sharpest books around. Memphis opened up +3 first half and +8.5 full game.
That's crazy. And I think you're betting public, or people who really don't look at those numbers, people who even look at the first quarters are going to be like, oh my God, Grizzlies have been blown the fuck out in the first quarter. Why? This is easy money here. This is easy money. And I think the Grizzlies come back with a little, tenacity and are able to hold their ground at least for the first half of the game. This is the reason why I took the full game. I just think when it's all said and done, and I think this happened in game 2, they just got left in the fourth quarter. They got left in the fourth quarter. And I believe that happens now. So my better play, nothing that I've seen warrants me to even put anything on Memphis, right? If you're putting anything on Memphis, it's more or less because of what you think should happen based upon scenarios and theories, and even what the data would show you about a team that's down 2-0, right? But OKC and Memphis, these guys are on different levels. And Memphis has nothing to give OKC whatsoever. So let me just take full game. And if I could get some plus money and just, another 2-point spread, I'll do that too. But also, you put up 83 points and 99 points, and now I think you're going to put up 110 points? I just don't see it, man.
I have a question Sir Mackey agreeing with Saturated, saying the books telling us Grizz would make it respectable the first 2 games. The Grizzlies were 14.5-point dogs full game, closed, at the sharp books at 14, and they were 8.5-point dogs in the first half. Where does anybody? Where do you see the books were saying the Grizzlies were going to make it respectable? I don't see that from the market. We're talking about tonight a 3.5 and a 9.5.
A 9.5, right?
But on Tuesday it was 8.5 and 14.
And that's the way those numbers should look. If we're looking at it, what I gather is the books are going to bait just your Joe, your average Joe, into thinking that it's a blowout and let me get some quick, easy money. And that a lot of people are going to take the Grizzlies first or OKC first quarter based on their last 2 games and OKC first half. And I just think it's a lot closer than that. If not Grizzlies outright winning the first quarter and making the first half very close. That number is just real suspect. Because like you just said, Jimmy, if we're playing by what books generally do, that first half number should be a lot higher. So just give me the full game because I think the game is just going to get away in the second half. That's my opinion on it. Now, I also think OKC just wants to wrap this shit up too, right? So if we're going to do this zigzag thing, I think the Grizzlies still put their foot on their throats this game. If it's a game they're going to give up, it would be game 4. And then just, do a gentleman sweep and go back home and win it all and go sleep in your bed that night. But I do think Grizzlies are going to sweep these boys because I don't see Memphis giving them anything, or excuse me, OKC going to sweep these boys. I just don't think Memphis has anything for OKC at this point. So yeah, give me OKC 9.5, 11.5. I'll take that all day. I'll take the under 109.5 for Memphis, and we'll live with the results.
Oklahoma City -9.5, and then you also have the alt line at 11.5.
Alt line at 11.5. Yep, I've got that in my book at +121.
+121. All right, you're in business. Double up spot here for Derl. I'm going to be off of this. True Allah saying, keep in mind SGA has had 2 bad games. I mean, he hasn't really needed to do anything.
Doesn't need to do anything.
If he needs to do something, I imagine that he would step up. But I agree. Look, I'm not moving on this basketball game. Again, I can understand putting your foot on the throat of Ja. I'm very interested to see if he and Desmond Bane step up. Okay. So, and in stepping up, I mean, for how long? I don't know, 24 minutes. Are we going to get a live? I mean, how many times this year where the Thunder, 10-point favorites down 7 at the half, you get them -125 on the money line, they win by 16. So I'm just going to be a very, very interested observer here. Darryl doubling up. Let's move on to our final game here on the card, our final game on the show. 10 p.m. Eastern, West first round, game 3, Nuggets, Clippers. This one has been a beauty. Nuggets are lucky. Nuggets are fortunate to be 1-1 heading to the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. Kawhi is playing with a vengeance. He's got something to prove again. Much
Toronto
like
Kawhi.
Yeah, just much like he did. But I mean, look, I don't remember Toronto Kawhi going 15 of 19 from the field. I mean, that was spectacular. So let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. We have, I'm back to that Tuesday lines. All right, let's go back to Thursday lines. We have the LA Clippers -5.5, -104. They opened up at -4.5, -105. When I saw the 4.5, I thought, wow, they're just opening up their arms to the Clip show here. And it made me very interested in Denver. Now there's been a point move, which I think should have happened. I think it should have opened at a flat 5. I was surprised at the 4.5. This total is down to a 213. I do see some 212.5s. I see some 213.5s. I'm looking at a 213 juice to the over. And we have Stacks play of the day, number 2 on the Clippers team total over 109.5, and Torrey Coker on Clippers as the best bet on the card. So let's take a look at the cash flow then for our final spot. 46% of tickets, 47% of cash on the Clippers. And on the total, we have 89 and 87 on the over. Denver did not look good down the stretch. Not look good, obviously. Had to fire their coach. And then we saw an uptick in performance. And the Edelman era suffered its first loss with 20 turnovers in game 2. We have the 14th fastest pace of play the last 10 games of the year for the Nuggets, 99.92 possessions a game through the first 2 games of the playoffs, which is, I expect in years to come. Again, we're getting as much sample size as we can from Operation Garcia, but I'll still only be in the play-in games, the NBA Cup Finals for the Operation Garcia, the play-in games round 1 and 2 of the first round. That's it. But 92.44 possessions a game. So they were playing 7.5 possessions slower. The Nuggets were through the first 2 games of the playoffs, and they were last 10 games of the regular season. And the Clippers were playing 5.04 possessions slower. And the markets are capable of adjusting that fast. And now they've adjusted. Is my belief is now they've adjusted. 49.1% the Clippers have shot from the field and 37.3 from 3 in this series. The Denver Nuggets have shot the ball better than the Clippers in this series, and are very lucky that it's 1-1. Tell me you didn't just say that. Says this feels like a good buy low spot on Norman Powell over 16.5 points. Nuggets have to throw something else at Kawhi. Think they will double more and try to get the ball out of his hands. Spenny penny bombs on Kawhi, 25 or more and 6 or more at plus 162. Same thing with 25 points and 7 or more boards at plus 230. And Saturated says, I think the Clippers win this, but this is too many points for the Nuggets. Games are going to be decided by possessions. So again, if this line comes back to 5 or didn't move off the 4.5, I would be telling you the market's opening up their arms to Clippers money. We should bet the Nuggets. Now we've seen the 1-point move, so I don't feel that way. Kawhi, of course, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, went for 39 points, 15 and 19 shooting. It's a 36th time he scored 30 or more points in a playoff game. In this series, he shot 70.6 from the field, 30.5 points. Harden's averaging 25 and 9, and Zubac averaging 18.5 and 12.5. The Nuggets were lucky to win that first game on Saturday in overtime. In game 2, they had no right to win it. 20 turnovers. They deserved to lose it. Jokic, 7 turnovers. Now, he went for 26, 11, and 10, but he's very upset with how he played. He's been putting the onus on him because that's what leaders do. And I don't see why Jokic isn't phenomenal here tonight. In saying that, I'm all ears, and I'm reading the comments in the chat, and I want to hear what you guys have to say before I make any moves. Take it away, Darryl.
Yeah, so this has got to be a Joker game. I've heard that a lot, and I do agree with it. This has got to be a Joker game. He's got to take more shots. We don't know what's going on with long sleeve Murray. Michael Porter Jr. is, we don't know his situation. And Christian Braun has really kind of been a shell of himself, and we're not going to even talk about Westbrook, right? So I don't think he has the best Joker. He has the best supporting cast right now to win a game with him just kind of being casual and being more of, in his give me rebounds, let me look for the passer and those things. I think you're going to see him shooting a lot more here. I really do. That's the only way they're going to really stay alive is if it's just prime Joker. Prime Joker. Not all about looking for the open guy and passing, even though that is his game. That's what he does. I just do believe you'll see him be more aggressive in his shots and taking shots and even shot selection. What I do like is Joker's threes. It's a lot of juice. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if it moves to 2.5. It's at 1.5 now. And I think that's easy money. I jumped on Joker's threes. So Joker's threes is what I like. And then
what
the
did you get on
second
that?
part, I got it at 157, minus 157.
How many?
1.5.
Okay, over 1.5 threes.
Over 1.5 threes.
Okay,
Super
rolling.
juiced. And then what I did in order to balance that juice was go for my long shot parlay, which is Josh Hart double-double and Ivica Zubac double-double. And I got that at plus 288. And so Zubac is just a walking double-double. I mean, that guy is going to get your boards, he's going to get your points, right? Josh Hart is more of the long. I do see, and even hearing what you said earlier about there's got to be 20 assists for the Knicks to win, then you see a lot more ball moving as well. So I just thought Josh Hart, who has had quite a few triple doubles this year, can get us a double double. And the reason why I use Josh Hart as an example over Cat, and on top of that, Cat's double double had a ton of juice, just like Zubac. So I do like that a little better. Josh Hart double double and Ivica Zubac double double kind of makes up for the Joker threes play that I made, and you get some extra money on top of that. So those are the plays I like. As far as the side on this game, I think a lot of people are on the Clippers. I really do. And the Clippers seem to be the side to take. But I'm a little skeptical with that spread. I don't know how I really feel about that spread just yet. And are we going to see Kawhi play like this for the entire, postseason? Right? Is he going to be this Kawhi? Or is there going to be some type of regression, and in what game does that happen, or when does that happen, right? I was reading one of my boys' comments that he's one pick and roll away from tweaking his knee. You know what I'm saying? So anything could happen with Kawhi because based on what he is. But if he's playing like this and continues to play like this, sees Lakers could go really, really deep in the postseason here. But for now, this game, I would rather watch to see how the Clippers play at home and how Denver plays in desperation. And so I like those props better. I like Joker with the threes, and I like Zubac with the double-double, and I parlayed that with Josh Hart.
I think the Nuggets have an answer, but not enough to win the game. I wonder if we should wait to move live. Yeah, terrible news. Gilbert's son in a real bad car crash this morning in LA. So he's in a coma. And it's just awful news. 18-year-old 5-star prospect. Just heartbreaking news in LA this morning.
Wow.
Our thoughts are with the Arenas family. Just awful news.
Wow. I'll have to look at that. It's insane. But his son was really good too. Really good.
Yeah, just horrific, awful news. Again, everything can change in 1 second. You just try to love as powerful as you possibly can to the people you care about the most. Jokic's player props at 49.5. I mean, he can go for a 28-point triple-double and not get that. I don't know why I would take the over. I don't know why.
He's had was it a 61 or a 51 point triple double and still lost?
Yeah,
you remember that he just recently. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just talking about points wise, he could still put up numbers and they still lose, right? But this is going to be a game where he puts up numbers. He's got to.
He's got to. He's angry. I think this is I mean, I don't understand honestly though about why take the hammering the PRA when really I mean he's going to need to go for 30 to get that comfortably. So maybe it's just better off taking Joker's points at this point, and that's 27.5. His 27.5 is juiced to the under. Is Zubac very, very tough on him? Is that the issue?
Because Zubac, I believe. Okay, let me look at the stats here. But I believe Zubac has hit the double-double in both games. First game, that box score, Zubac, 13 and 21. Second game, Zubac, 12 and 10. So he's grabbing boards. He's
Yeah.
grabbing boards there, and that's why I like the shot for him. I mean, Zubac is just a true 5, man. A true 5. So Joker isn't going to keep him off the boards.
And LJ says just takes the Jokic triple double. I don't understand why it would if it was so likely, why it would be plus 160. You know what? I think I should just leave the Jokic props alone. Honestly, this is honest how I feel about it. The Jokic prop sounds fun, and fun doesn't make money. So I don't want to be around those things that sounds like an enjoyable way to, but I am interested in the Nuggets. Their backs are against the wall. We've had some real poor performances by, a few of these Denver Nuggets. I think that it's probably a first half Nuggets spot. But again, I don't know if I like it enough to actually bet it.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't, running the way I'm running, I probably would just bet it. But when you start running hot, you just take extra time. And the line, the 2.5. So it's another situation, of course. Like, we have a 2.5 on the first half, but a 5.5 in the game, which tells us that Nuggets are going to be in this. LJ from H-Sounds on the Nuggets plus 5.5. Denver 5-1 against spread on the road. Game 3 since the 2022-23 playoff. Justin McKelvey says Norman Powell incoming. So, and Wager Detective says don't second guess yourself in the heater, Jimbo. Oh no, I'm just what I mean, Wager Detective, is I'm much better gambler when I'm winning. When I'm losing, I just say okay, that I'll bet that. I reach. When I'm winning, I really take time. So, all right. I like the Nuggets plus 5.5. I would like that more, and I know this sounds crazy if this closes at a 5.
Huh.
And if this goes to a 6, I'm going to tap the break. So I'm not going to bet this when the show ends here. I like the Knicks money line. I'm willing to invest to see the Pistons prove that the 22-19 home record, that they're going to come home with all the pressure on them and deliver here. My expectation is that the Knicks win game 3, and then I double down on the Pistons in game 4. So that's the expectation for me here. And then saturated with a very important point on MPJ. So I thought we had all the kind of lineups set, but let's just go and do a quick once over on the lineups here. MPJ, a crucial part of this. Like I was under the impression after he practiced yesterday that there was no question he's going to be in. Am I wrong on that? I guess that's another thing. Wait.
I would wait on that. They've been talking about MPJ not being right for a minute. And
Okay,
and you don't know. I don't know what's going on with Murray. Right? He's been sick. He's been, his shoulder. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. The supporting cast is it's too many moving parts. Too many.
I mean, he played 42 minutes and scored 23 points.
He did. He still wasn't right. Yeah, he did. He absolutely did that, but he's still not 100%. Don't get that twisted. He is not 100%.
Okay, I've got lots to think about in this game, and I look forward to doing it. Let's review action here in NBA before we race for $50. We have Derl on a Hart double-double, Zubac double-double parlay at plus 288. He's on the Oklahoma City Thunder minus 9.5, and he's got an alt line at minus 11.5. And he's on the Joker over 1.5 threes at minus 157. For me, I'm going to move on the Knicks money line now. And then I'm going to make a decision about the Denver Nuggets. And that will take some time. JWTX says Clippers are free cash. Dougie Wise just moved on the Dougie Wise, how'd you get that -1.5? Can you? Oh, first quarter. Okay, Dougie Wise just moved on the Clippers first quarter. -1.5. So, I'm quite nervous though. I tell you honestly, I'm quite nervous betting on Cat. And I'm not going to take his player props if he's going to step up, but betting on Cat. But I liked everything that he said, and I liked everything that Brunson said about getting everybody more involved. I liked the Knicks not looking good in 2 games, and now coming to Detroit with a chip on their shoulder. And I've talked myself into betting that. So that is where we stand here. Great stuff, Derl. Great to have you back in business. Just copy and paste Dougie Wise's action here. Robert Franklin on Westbrook over 1.5 threes. Derl, my man, I'm going to pop your X handle in the chat. Great to have you back in business. Thank you so much for making time for us, my friend.
Absolutely.
Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. It was a busy day for me today. And it's always good to just sit and talk ball, man. I pray that everybody has a good, profitable day today. Ball is good right now. I do like the games I've been saying. So best of luck, Jimmy, to you and your plays. Don't overthink it. Best of luck to everybody in the chat, and I will see you again next week.
Much love. There he is, Darryl Rice here in the house. I've got a lot to think about here in the NBA card, and I love it, and I will overthink it as well. No wager detective. I don't bet first fives. I bet the first 3 under 2.5. I caught that. I don't bet first 5 unders. Jose Bouquett, my friend, how are you feeling? Any better after the?
No, I don't feel. No. It's a tie game now, so it doesn't even matter. It's 4-4, so who cares? I'm still in a pissed off mood. But I will quickly shout out. You said it off the top. Shout out to Joey Harb as well off the top. Great guy, good guy in the chat all the time. Will be missed. And like you said off the top, I liked what you said that, it's just a fact that our community now is just slightly weaker without him. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Less than, no doubt. It's a tough way to start, but it was again, a member of our community, Justin, going, what's going on, looking, caring and trying to find out what's going on with a colleague of his. And that's
That's why I was so happy to see our guy Deacon Mike. That's just
or R2D2 Finland.
Yeah, we've had a lot of
I messaged him and I was like, oh no.
Dave Burke came back as well. It's been nice to see a lot of
There's
people.
a reason why Berkey is not being here. So it's a legitimate thing that's happening, and so he can't rock with us anymore. But so the fact that he jumped in just to say hi and his heart's always with us was wonderful.
Yeah, so it's nice to see you guys. Those who watch the show and don't comment much, those who can't watch the show and come in for a little bit and comment. It's nice to see you guys. Those are the ones that, of course, mean a lot, and we appreciate all the guys that are in here every day. Obviously,
oh yeah,
you guys are family. Like I talk to fucking Nasty Nate, for example, more than I talk to my fucking dad. My mom has been gone for a month in Miami, just living it up there. I guess she had back surgery, so my sister's taking care of her. So I have not seen my dad in a month. Basically, he's just been in his part of the world. I've been doing my thing. So I see you guys in the chat so much more than I see my family. So that's why we appreciate you guys watching the show and all that shit, and then being in here every day. So shout out to you guys.
Nancy says, cut the sappy shit. Let's race, Jose. Let's race. Thank you to all of our gold members. It means a ton to us. We got the thoroughbreds back out, the sweet San Antonian sod.
Have you, by the way, started this Netflix show?
No, I have not. But I've not watched a second of anything.
I know, but this is an exception to that rule, I think.
Yes, no, and I will try to watch that horse racing show at some point. I just right now, Jose, I'm telling you, from a gambling standpoint, I am all in on this venture that we are taking on together. All in, all my thoughts, all my effort in.
Yeah.
But let's race horses, Jose. Let's race horses. Thank you to all of our gold members. Let's get that cash, my friend. Tori Coker, Knicks -1 and Memphis +9.5. Dougie Wise says our San Antonio women big in the best ways. Dougie Wise, in the best conceivable ways. They're very. Yeah, Barkley was wrong. You should have seen the women last year at our poker night getting the knots out of our backs.
Yeah. There's people like to say that I had one this year. That's what people are liking to say. I've heard a lot of stuff. When I'm gone for a day, apparently I just hear that a bunch of things are said about me, and I don't go back and look for them because I don't want my opinions to be colored. But I hear a lot of things: HIV, HPV, whole things that don't matter when it comes to horse racing. Here we go. Beautiful day. Gorky, Goron up there. Nut flush, saturated, Dutch boy, fresh, Jarek White, all in the mix there. Nasty Nate at the top of the screen, biding his time, waiting to strike like NJ Striker up there in the mix. Dabby Cab, Mr. Bitches, Frank C3, Eldorado Custodian, Johnny Guns, and TJ up there as well, Jimmy.
TJ looking very strong. NJ Striker trying to stay in. Sir Mackey loves pie. I can't remember who won yesterday. That's how messed up I was. Do you remember who won?
It was Sir Mackey loves pie. Can he do it again?
Sir Mackey going for back-to-back. Sir Mackey, please email pubsportsradio@gmail.com to get your $50 to add to the bankroll. Sir Mackey, well, there goes George Wood, but Sir Mackey is not going away. Here comes AM. AM moving on the inside. Does AM have enough? Big Show picks making a huge move. And Tori Coker flying late with Billy Friedrich. They're all moving at the last minute. And it is Big Show, I think. Yes, Big Show picks.
I think.
Yeah, it's like, did Billy Friedrich catch him? Because I need to see that photo. Doesn't look right.
I mean, look at that.
Doesn't look right. Great job. Big Show picks. So he's won 2 of like our last 5 races because he got free entry into our NHL hockey pool, of which he's doing very well. Speaking of, did we get an update? Let's see if we got an update score. Do we have
since
an update?
You gave me the news about I haven't checked, but since you gave me the news about who I've picked, I've not checked once to see how my team is done. Happy to have all my skaters out there, though.
We are waiting for an update. We're a couple days back, so I will ask Spooner to get an update for our Friday show. That will be important here. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun roll here, but there are some very important teams that need to move on, and we will see if that comes to a fruition here. And obviously, I've got a ton invested in the Stars and the Oilers. Not a ton of I didn't bet that much on it, but it's important. My max that's like $500. So
I feel the same way. The stupid ass fucking Rockies, but here we are.
Yes, Billy, I'll message right now to get that updated right now for us, my man. Thank you guys so much for everything. It's a little our shows are a little wild right now. There's a lot on the line, and I don't know what to tell you, man. These aren't picks; they're bets, and there's the weight of the analytics in baseball. Although we haven't dived too far into them, they're coming though. Sample size is the reason why they're not here yet. We have nothing without you guys. Thank you so much for everything that you guys bring to the table. Wager Detective, AM Spooner, Samit, Kelly McInnes, Truth Teller, Saturated, Dougie Wise, Justin McKelvey, Billy Friedrich, Christopher Comentini. Thank you guys so much for all that you guys do. Pacheco De Gallo in the house. Ayo D King Who. It's going to be. I every time I hang out with you guys, I leave inspired and want to work harder. We will keep talking about Joey Harb. It's important to keep talking about something good or bad.
Good.
Okay, good.
Bregman almost made a great play, but we're reviewing it, so I'm sorry.
Okay,
continue.
No worries. So we will keep talking about Joey Harb and our thoughts at Pub Sports Radio are with his family. Stacks plays of the day. Clippers team total over 109.5. That's the Stacks play of the day right now. The crochet ladder, helping our friend Truth Teller. Billy Friedrich on the Toronto Maple Leafs as the pig milk play of the day. The prime cut from Sweaty Butchers, the Thunder -9.5. They've been rolling as a road fave. Aaron Gordon, 3 or more assists for Res Mob. That's the respect play of the day. Ronnie Lofton on Diamondbacks team total over 5.5. Carroll over 1.5 bases. Free bands play day. Knicks -1. Bonus play Westbrook under 11.5. We know Troy's invested heavily here on these Royals, so we'll be watching and keeping a close eye. Toby Lane on the Lightning money line, the Blues money line. Spreadsheet play today in Major League Baseball. The Diamondbacks. In hockey, it is the St. Louis Blues. TJ on the Angels first 5 money line. I expect to be on it, but I'm not taking -0.5. Razor Sharp picks is on Vegas, Minnesota first period over 1.5. Gorky is on Panatha -5.5 and Fenner money line in Euro League. Mr. Heat on the Pistons team total over 106.5. Razor Sharp picks after picking up 60 large yesterday has given us his entire Aqueduct card. If anybody looking for action, here is Razor Sharp picks Aqueduct card. Thank you, Razor, for sending it to us. Means a ton. We have Spenny Penny Bombs on correlated parlays for all the hockey games. Florida, Barkov, Reinhart, Verhage 2 shots. Barkov, Reinhart point for Tampa. Hagel point, and Kucherov 3 shots on goal. That's plus 275. Bobano attacked that Florida Tampa game. He took every team that's down 2-0 to score a goal in the first period, which is fascinating because it's heavily juiced. And I'm going to keep a very close eye on it. We're both on the Lightning. If I could go back, I would. Look at Slaughter doing the Lord's work there. Slaughter. Lightning money line and the draw for both of us. He's also on the over 5.5 and Tampa Bay to score first. I'm on the Senators. He's on Senators to score in the first period. First period over 1.5 and the full game over 5.5. He's on Vegas to score in the first period on Minnesota Wild. He is on. Oh, and also spending on Stone and Eichel for a point and Hurdle 2 shots on goal. He's on the Blues to score in the first, Blues money line and the draw. And we have reviewed Major League Baseball here. The big thing for me is I guess it's just Angels first 5 -0.5. Jose has the A's money line coming up. The Taint play today, Roy, we have not got unless you received it. Did you receive the Taint play today?
Yeah, I sent it to you. It's the under in Tampa Bay, Arizona, under 8 even money, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay, because that's the 3.5 that I'm still looking at.
Yeah, full game, yeah.
All right. That is our show for today. AM, Roy, Oldie, all you guys, thank you so much for your support. Jose, can you please bless our action and let us into the future?
I will especially be able to bless our action if Greg Weissert can get Cal Raleigh here out with 2 outs, 2 guys on. That'd be very nice, Greg Weissert, if you could do this for us. But again, shout out to all you guys in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Justin, everyone in here, Truth Teller, my guy Billy Friedrich, Christopher Commentini, all you guys in here commanding fucking motherfucker. Throw a strike. All you guys commanding and doing your damn thing. AOD saturated. Shout out to all of you guys. Appreciate it. We'll be back again here mañana. Obviously, a loaded Friday because Fridays are always packed with a lot of action here. Saturday, say hey plays. We'll talk Sunday as well, and we will be all over it. So till then, let's fucking put our fucking hands together and motherfucking milk these damn bookies. Leche, you los bookmakers.